Awesome. Am I also playing the game? Let me just check the volume on this. Is my volume being picked up? Test, test. Yeah, my volume is being picked up. No. Not right now. But I wanted to go over some stuff about it. Naturally. I also want to go over a video by Juju as well. This is making sure everything was functioning, because wasn't sure if, I don't know why, but the audio is like all the way down the bottom, but there's like a weird chat box thing. So it's making sure that functions correctly. But there is a video I want to go over from Banana Juju that goes over it as well. Because I want to talk about one last time. Just go over the last sort of ending parts of the drama. And I realize now that I shaved, now I just look almost baby-faced. It's just like, I look terrible. It's the problem. I get one person that complains. They go, oh, you should shave because you look bad. Then I shave, then I just look terrible. This is why I shouldn't listen to idiots. Though, to be honest, if I get a shaver, I could probably get like a better shaver that was like slightly longer, so it's not so low, but slightly. Be nice. But Iron Mouse never said don't play the game. She doesn't care if you play the game. Well, that was quick. I haven't even said anything yet, and someone's already in the comment section diving on me. I think you were the last person, Demon Slayer, that was in the last stream desperately defending her about it. Which, by the way, I never said that Iron Mouse ever said that, so I don't understand your comment already, because it feels like you're already trying to create a narrative that people are saying that. But might I also add, again, she complains about AI, and now she doesn't play games with AI, but she's played other games with AI. So again, if you're going to complain about AI and how, oh, I won't play games with AI, but then have a long track record of playing games with AI, it's a little bit hypocritical. Practice what you preach. I'm going to have oral surgery soon. Looks like Mountain Dew may be off me. Tooth infection. Ooh, yucky. Honestly, I need to cut back on my soft drink intake. I need to drink more water, which I actually have down here. She was upset that she was lied to, except for the fact the lie doesn't make any sense either. That's the thing that always bugs me about that claim, is that the lie doesn't make any sense. Because she claims that the studio said that they don't use AI, but they've made public statements before she ever played the game that they do use AI. They made it before and after. They made the same statements. So to say that they lied makes no sense, because they've publicly stated contrary to what she claimed. So either A, her PR team lied to her, or B, she lied, or they've said something completely different in private to what they're saying publicly, which is weird, being that, again, they've publicly stated that they use AI, and she's saying, oh, they told me that they don't in private. That just doesn't make any sense. This 2 times in a month where I was prescribed antibiotics and the strong stuff, man. Ooh. If you're getting the strong stuff, then yeah, that sounds like a bad infection. Honestly, like I say, yeah, I need to cut back on my sugary drinks badly. I'm pretty bad at how much soft drink I drink. Way too much. And I think long term it will probably end up affecting me. I need to drink more water. Shy Lily got hostile when she responded to the AI drama on Friday. I think she might end up like Bao. They're already like Bao. Did you hear about the Amakar being shut down by the Dana Center? Yes, I did. I think I saw someone leave a comment. I'm not sure if it was your comment or someone else's, but someone did mention about it. I mean, there seems to be a lot of piracy sites going down. I switched to energy drinks and zero sugar soda nowadays. I'm trying to just cut back in general. I mean, yeah, probably going to zero sugar might be a good idea. But, yeah, I want to cut back in general, like, as much as possible. I think, honestly, yeah, sugary drinks is just... It's my Achilles heels. It's the one thing I consume too much of. And it's costly, too. It's getting more expensive these days. There was another video also that got recommended to me in... I forgot his name's Discord server. But a video called Anime Has a Christian Tourist Problem, which I thought was kind of interesting. I might cover it. But yeah. Man, what happened to Mousy? She hasn't been the same since the Streamer Awards. Honestly, she needs to stop hanging out with the LA crew. That's her problem. I'm sure she's a sweet person, but I think the problem is Iron Mouse surrounds herself with bad people. And because she surrounds herself with bad people and bad influence, naturally she's going to behave in a certain way. You guys saw the latest guest remake that was peak Roblox animators still got it. Oh yeah. The Great Mother's Day to all of the but yes. I mean, a great example of the whole drama is this tweet here, which is the NTR removed the more placeholders and added new images. Which is funny because this image looks better than that image. Which, yeah, they probably just went out and bought a bunch of cheap assets and then slapped them on top. Which is just really sad because that feels like it just looks nicer. It just looks cooler. And it's a nice little reference to an anime. I don't think she seeks those people out on purpose. Not necessarily, yeah. I kind of agree. Maybe she doesn't necessarily seek them out. But I think because that she's surrounded by people like Connor, who you gotta remember who Connor is, right? Connor is someone that is friends with people like Hassan. He's friends with the LA crew. Like, because Iron Mouse is connected to Connor and they're very close to each other, naturally she's going to be surrounded by the LA crew, which is people like Hassan. And so I think she's been heavily negatively influenced. I see you got a clean shave. Yeah, someone complained about my beard. Actually, it was a guy that complained, and I wanted to see what it would look. I actually just wanted to see if I get a clean shave, it would look alright. Now I just look weird. I hate shaving. I really do. I hate shaving. Because I look baby-faced. I absolutely do. I look so baby-faced. I need to get a new shaver, though, because my shave is, like, really bad, and I need, like, one that has different settings on it. Almost like one of those that you use for your hair, but kind of like where you can set a length to it and get it to a longer length, where I can keep it long enough that it doesn't feel baby face, but not too long where it feels like it's all fluffed up and everything. So I need to get a new shave, but that costs a couple $100, so I'll have to put some money aside and get it at some point. So the LA crew is going to be the I think honestly the LA crew will be Iron Mouse's downfall. Honestly, Hassan doesn't fit anywhere in the West. Hassan doesn't fit anywhere, period. He's just a bad person. But, yeah, I mean... It's just so, it just feels so... I mean, it's not bad, right? in the game itself. Oh, look at this soda drink. But it's just like, compared to it, it's like, I don't know. And it's funny, by the way, because when they replace this, there are so many people saying that this is just AI. They're just saying, oh yeah, this is just AI slop. Just replaced AI. And I'm like, really? Really? Like, that, you got what you wanted, and then they still complained about AI. So, there's this clip here too. Sometimes when I shave my face, I think I look like Shrek. I just, I don't know. I feel like I want that perfect length, but I need a proper shaver, because the one that I've got, even the longest length, that's the longest length. The shortest one really goes down. So I need to get a length that's just a bit longer, where I don't feel like it's baby face, but it's also not too long. The anime movie reference draws my eyes. Well, that's what I mean. It looks nice. It fits the aesthetic. It's like, oh, look, it's an anime reference. It's cute. It's like, okay, cool. It's not bad, but it's just, I don't know. I like the anime reference. I think Mousy should take a long break from the internet, just like Cinder did. I think so too. But I also think she needs to distance herself from the people that she's with. But also, the problem is that she needs to stop listening to her toxic audience. Right? She's cultivated an audience, and this is the thing I said in the last stream. Right? She has cultivated an audience that is hostile to her no matter what she does. Right? Even though, and this is the problem, right? Those from the outside perspective are going to look at her past and present, and they're going to be critical of her, because she's going to say one thing, they're going to look at her past. Like I said, you know, she's complained about AI. No, she's not telling people what to play, but she is saying, hey, I don't want to play games that have AI because I want to respect artists, blah, blah, blah. And that's fine. But you've played games that have AI in it. So it's like, are you going to withdraw those videos and disown those as well? It's like, this is why I don't, again, I'm not opposed to AI, but at the same time, I do respect artists, which is funny because I've been abused by artists before, being like, you hate artists. And it's like, all the art that I get commissioned is like, all the art that I get done is commissioned. The only time I use AI for art is generally for thumbnails if I want to tweak things, because getting an artist to do thumbnails is very expensive. I had someone email me this week offering to do thumbnails for my other channel, and it's like $30 a video, and I'm like, bro, I don't even make more than $5 a video, and you want me to pay you $30 per thumbnail? I'm like, I ain't got that kind of money. Like, I'd be broke. So it's like, getting an artist for things like, you know, thumbnails and all that just isn't really, you know, something that I can afford. But if I can use a piece of art that I can use for multiple videos or something, like a chibi character or emotes or something like that, I can justify the cost of maybe like $60 for a chibi character and use it for like 30 high school DxD light novel reviews, right? So slowly I'll make that money back. So I've got to pick and choose where I use AI and where I don't. Oh, you've only missed like 15 minutes or 14 minutes and 15 seconds, Francis. So for me personally, I can't afford to use AI. I can't afford to use real artists for everything. But then they'll say, well, you just don't get it. And I'm like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people that complain about AI are just... all it's going to do is it's just going to make people more stubborn. I use artists where I can and where I can afford it, and AI where I want to cut a couple of corners, right? Say like a thumbnail. I mean, my latest video on this channel, I used AI. I changed an original image from the last video, and I told it, hey, change the text to this, and change the character to remove the mic and make them shake their fists and make them fat. That's basically it. So it's like, it had a different look to it. And then I still tweaked it with my own editing software, because I got rid of the side character and I changed the side character and I put my own, another different transparent image. So as much as I used some AI, I still did some tinkering with it as well. So it's kind of like a little bit of both. I'll get it to do something, I'll do something to it, and I kind of bounce backwards and forwards. So I still do a lot of the work. It's sad when Vash is more sane than Hassan. Yeah, that is true. As a fan of Hassan, I can tell you most of his takes are dog Wait, are you an actual fan of him? Because that's kind of insane. As a fan of his son, I can tell you most of his takes are dog shit. I hate that he is the most prominent lefty on Twitch. I am more of a Vanguard kind of guy. As a Sam calls them silly Billy. It's when people lie about not using AI and act like they're the same as Illustrator. Yeah, I think that's the big issue. I think that's one of the big things is just, if you're going to use AI, just be transparent about it. Just say, yep, I'm using AI. And I'll tell you if I use AI and if I don't use AI. Some of my thumbnails, yeah, I use a bit of AI, and sometimes I do a bit of editing myself. I don't use any AI in editing the videos. Sorry. I just use it for the thumbnails. Right? That's as far as I go. There's tons of images and videos in urban districts in NTE. I don't know or care which are AI. The areas look beautiful, like Akihabara. Yeah, and that's all that matters. Like, I think how they used AI in NTE is a good way to use it. The really monotonous, repetitive tasks they used AI for, right? And there, where they wanted to do the finer tuning, like making the models and the characters and the animations, is where they used artists. So it allows the art team to focus more on important things rather than being focused on all this esoteric, annoying stuff. Because all they have now, when they had to replace these, they had to go out of their way to waste time on it. It's just wasted resources. It's stupid, right? So I feel like that's a good use of AI. Sure, no one wants to lose their job to AI. I get that. I really do. Right? And there's good uses for AI and there's bad uses for AI. I think we just got to kind of find that line and be like what we're comfortable with AI and what we're not. Because there's some uses of AI I don't like, right? I don't like all the YouTube slop videos out there that use AI, mainly because most of them are just full of misinformation. That doesn't mean that people don't make full of lies and misinformation, but because there's AI now, it mass produces it. You only need to look at the anime news sector and it's just full of slop. I have both far left policies and center right views. I mean, I've been told I'm alt left and alt right, so... hey, Spirit, ever played Nine Souls hard? Restore play? No, I have not. I have not.
I didn't know Shy Lily stands on this. Oh boy, but when I heard her
It's a bit soft. Let's up the volume.
I didn't know Shy Lily stance on this. Oh boy, but when I heard her stance on this, I was like, I'll give her the benefit of the doubt that she missed.
I've never heard of this VTuber before either. I've only just recently noticed her. She seems to be getting quite popular. By the way, how is the ancestral test? I have not gotten it yet. Once I get it, we'll have fun with it. But I haven't got it yet. I probably don't expect to get it for another 2-3 weeks. I'm just assuming it will take a while to get to the location, so I'm assuming maybe a week or so to get to location, and then probably a couple of weeks to get the test and then send the results. I'm very curious to know what the results are. I know I'll have British blood in me because I know I've got British descent, but I am curious beyond my British descent where else it goes. So, because I know based on my family tree where my British descents go to and the towns and stuff. So
I always give streamers the benefit of the
but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't have British descent. Maybe I am secretly Asian. I don't know. We'll find out.
Of doubt that they misspoke.
I am very close with Argus.
She is a very
Wonder whether the ancestral test could confirm whether DSP is your dad or not. I'm probably older than DSP. How old is DSP? You know what? Let's look that up. DSP. I want to see actually how old he is. Alright. I'm gonna ask, how old is 40s. He acts like a 20-year-old sometimes. DSP is like 50 now. And he's still doing this shit. I mean, again, if you want a game, you want a game. How old is da 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 da? Let's see. I mean, you said that Darkside Phil could be your dad. I have said Darkside Phil is the greatest content creator of all time. Only because he continuously gives endless amount of content. Okay, apparently he's 44. No offense, but it would be kind of impossible for him to be my dad. Being that I am 36 years old. He is only 8 years older than me. So, it's a little bit impossible for him to be my dad. Let's be honest there. I'm a little bit too old.
Very close with artists.
Very close.
Very. She
Might I add, she's very close with artists because she tried to use an artist to turn against another content creator.
put that, very
Or
in there.
upset
She's
that
very
I
close.
am against something, or rather that I want to end my stream. I want to look into
And
it.
she was very disappointed with the use and discovered use of a
So I think one of the audiences said that Darkside could be probably could be that. I don't really want to be related to DSP. He has too much brain damage for me. But he is a funny content creator just because of the fact that he's survived for so long.
Gen AI in Neverness, Everness, and she expressed how she's close to artists, so this is very dear and near to her. And the reason, I'm assuming, because it doesn't take a math magician to figure out that the reason she has a huge problem with it is because it's invading in a real artist's creativity and their livelihood, and could threaten the livelihood of an artist. And that's fine. If that's your take, baby, I think it's I don't agree with that take, but it is her take. This is what I find a little bit disjointed with her comment, though.
I
Difference
learn
between
artists.
NPC AI and AI image generation. This shouldn't even be a debate, Shine.
Yeah, I think also people don't understand like what part of AI is the problem here.
What part of AI is the problem?
The thing is, straight away, is that people have a problem with AI in general when it comes to a lot of these. Like, they don't want AI at all. Like, let's be very clear, right? The people that don't like AI don't want AI at all in the game. So let's just be completely transparent there. The people that dislike AI don't want it in the art, in the voice acting, in the script writing, in the coding, in the animations, in any of it.
Problem.
Like, yeah, you said just now, I have no problem with NPC generated AI dialogue and whatnot, whatever.
She has no problem with NPC generative AI.
And see, that's there right is the problem. So the only thing she cares about is making sure her artist friends, and that's the problem. It's the artist community that's the most vocal within these sort of social media space, because this is the problem. A lot of artists rely on going to people and getting small commissions. But I think also one of the biggest problems, and this is something that's been thrown up in a lot of artists' face, is a lot of the same artists that are complaining about AI are the same artists that will turn around and deny clients, like, commissions, and say, hey, I won't take your commission because you have this political opinion. And then those specific people go to AI, and then they go, oh no, you're not allowed to use AI. Right? So, hey Tony, welcome to the stream. So she doesn't care about the writers. No, she doesn't. She cares about the artists being replaced by AI. She doesn't care about the script writers. Because you gotta understand, she's friends with the artists. She gets art done all the time. She likes getting free art as well. And that's another thing you've also gotta understand. She gets a lot of free art made for her by fans. And she uses that as a way to continuously get that extra free promotion, that drip feed. So yeah, naturally she's gonna protect artists. Because she benefits greatly from free art. And she also is friends with artists who she has used and weaponized to deny other content creators access. Best example is Windows 11 AI Copilot is being misused and takes many resources. Yeah, and that's a bad use of AI, right? That's a bad use. Like, I like using Grok because it's a useful tool, but it's a choice. I choose to use Grok. I don't want Copilot taking up back-end resources on my Windows, right? That's a bad use of AI. So there are good uses of AI and bad uses of AI. And that's where you've got to be critical of where good uses are and bad uses are, and be able to articulate yourself on why you like and dislike that specific use of AI. Again, I understand why artists are very much irritated at AI, because they're scared of losing their job. I've said that in the last stream. I know a lot of artists are very scared about losing their job. NTE getting the hate, but literally anything else, no. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, there are so many games. Like, I think the one that makes Genshin Impact, right? That studio, they're apparently hiring more AI people. AI isn't going anywhere. I hate to break it to people, but AI isn't going anywhere. Sure, and this was something I said in one of Okko's streams, there's going to be a bubble where a lot of AI companies are going to go bust, right? A lot of AI companies that are building infrastructure based on speculation of use case scenarios, because a lot of companies want to get on this idea that this is the next big tech bubble, right? This is the next big tech revolution. So a lot of companies are trying to milk and get on top of AI. But the problem is that there are going to be a lot of companies that will go bust. So there is going to be a bit of an AI bubble, but there are going to be clearly some winners out of the AI arms race. AI isn't going to go anywhere, but there are going to be winners and there are going to be losers in this AI race. So this whole idea that AI is going to disappear tomorrow or in a week or in a month, in a year, is stupid. And I've had this argument with other people in Discord servers, like when I used to be on good terms with Ed, Psychoculturist. I used to be on his Discord server, and I used to debate people on there all the time about AI. And I can tell you right now, those people were literally AI illiterate. They didn't understand a single thing about AI, because they were constantly complaining AI won't get any better. 3-6 months later, they were then going, oh my god, it had a massive breakthrough. Oh, it won't get any better again. And it was the same rinse and repeat for like a good, 2 years of them just saying the same thing every 3 months. And I called them out on it, and I was like, how many times are you going to say it's not going to get any better, and it keeps getting better? And then they get angry at me and go, oh, no one needs a know-it-all. And it was just like, well, again, if you're going to keep repeating the same mistake, it feels kind of embarrassing. And so this is the problem. There are a lot of people that just don't understand how AI works. They don't understand the fundamental principles that it is going to increasingly get better, whether you like it or not. The issue and the bottleneck is going to be data. And now is going to be data centers, right? Processing, computers, hardware, electricity. There's going to be so many different bottlenecks. That's why you've got companies like SpaceX with XAI. They're planning to build a orbital satellite system with millions of AI mini computers out in space that are going to make an orbital ring. I actually talked about it on an older stream, and I actually ended up deleting that stream. But I can show, well, I won't show it, but I'll paint it, right? I'll explain what it will look like, right? So for those that don't know, Elon, I know everyone loves Elon, ha 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 ha. Elon is planning to build a orbital satellite system. Okko said Iron Mouse is allegedly lying about the Fee Shoujo. That's not true. The reason why Mousy hasn't sued Fee Shoujo yet is because Gunrun is under federal investigation that can take years. Again, I don't really trust Okko. Not Okko. I can't really trust Iron Mouse. Iron Mouse has a long history of kind of telling porkies. Yes, Iron Mouse. I'm good. Yes, pirate software mode. Yes, we're going pirate software mode. Okay, so Elon Musk running SpaceX. I don't care if you love him. I don't care if you hate him. But let's get to the facts. He has gotten SpaceX to buy out XAI. Ironically, XAI was owned by Elon Musk, so Elon Musk bought Elon Musk's company. Give him a round of applause. He bought his own company with another company that he owns. But the reason why he did it is because he wants to merge the AI component with SpaceX, because SpaceX puts up the orbital satellite systems which are used for Starlink, right? So there's Starlink. But one of the plans that they plan to do is they plan to make the Starlink satellite system bigger, right? In the sense of making them bigger in size and adding AI compute's power into those satellites. So not only will they give you internet, but they will also give you wait a minute, I think I was there for this. Yeah, it's an older stream, but it will also have server power. So they're planning to put AI compute into those satellites. But that's not only all, right? So if we look at it from that perspective, there'll be all these little dots everywhere, and it'll be like blah, 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 and there'll be all those satellites going around the planet. Then you've also got to look at the fact that he's planning to put 1 million satellites into space. So it will be like this. And the reason why it will be like that is because the sun... Oh, this is going to be awkward. There we go. Think of the sun like that, right? That's the sun. It's beaming down. And they're planning to put AI satellites, a million of them or so, in a sort of a circle, like an orbital ring around the planet. And it's all going to be facing one direction. I know, great song. And it will be all generating the heat, always on, always running, out in space, generating power, generating computes power, because it doesn't matter where they are. They can stay in like a stationary orbit. Then it will then generate all that power, all that compute power, and then it will beam it back to the planet. So instead of having the system, is that an upgrade to the Starlink system? It will be an upgrade to the Starlink system, as well as they're building an orbital ring around the planet. That's the plan, right? So first he's going to do the Starlink upgrade, and then he's going to do the orbital thing. Because to do the orbital thing, and this is something he mentioned, so now I'm going to need to draw another circle. He plans to basically put almost like a railgun on the moon. This is getting so sci-fi right now. He's planning to put a railgun on the moon and use the resources on the moon to fire AI satellites at the orbit of the planet to create this orbital ring. I know this sounds sci-fi, but this is what he's planning to do, right? So again, I repeat, he plans to put a railgun system on the moon to fire AI satellites at the planet to go into an orbital ring to then face towards the sun so that it can generate massive amounts of compute inference. I don't the world allow it. I don't think the world has a choice. I mean, to be honest, everyone wants to be able to be... Isn't that just a Death Star? I mean, it's just basically a giant gun on a moon that's just going to fire satellites at them. It's like... So, I don't know. I think it's kind of funny. I want to see if he can pull it off, because let's be honest here, right? Have you ever played Stellaris? This is like a mega project. Elon is doing mega projects while politicians are fighting about what genders mean, right? While the left is complaining about what men and women mean and what the definition of a man and a woman is, he's planning to build a railgun to pump satellites out. So it's literally, yeah, probably. I mean, to be honest, I just want to see if he can pull it off. It sounds funny. It sounds cool. So it's that laser gun from Invincible. I haven't watched Invincible, but maybe, probably, who knows? It's, again, 1 million satellites facing towards the sun to create a supercomputer that will then process all this kinds of crazy stuff that will then send information back down to the Earth, rather than building AI on the planet. Which, to be honest, this is a better solution than what all the other companies are, which is, hey, can we buy all your farmland? Now we're going to put a giant AI machine, an AI building in the middle of a farmland, and we're going to suck up all the water from the local town. To me, this sounds a lot better than the alternative of what all the other companies are doing. I'm going to be honest, I like this solution more, and it sounds cooler. Will he also fall into a volcano? Maybe. And then comes out of it. I don't know. Imagine the US versus China in space. That's if China can even really get to space properly. To be honest, the Chinese economy is completely collapsing. And it's just kind of funny where people are like, yeah, the Chinese economy is so powerful. And it's like, dude, it's falling apart. Who has the high ground? Exactly. Also RAM, CPU, and GPU, also SSD. Yeah. And I mean, when you look at... And also, that's another thing as well, by the way. So, before people freak out and go, oh, but the RAM prices will go up higher because of this. Wait, there's more. So, he plans to, while SpaceX buys XAI to build this orbital satellite system around the planet by building a railgun on the moon to suck up the energy from the sun to build a supercomputer AI... He's also gotten Tesla, and they're planning to build the biggest chip manufacturing hub in the world with a research lab that will then be making the most amount of chips possible to then sell it to XAI. So he's using Tesla to build the chips to then sell it to SpaceX to then pump it out into space. Think about that. He's running all these businesses that are all working against each other. What about the RAM crisis? That's why I'm explaining it right now. So the RAM crisis, he's already resolving at the same time as while he's doing all this. Because he's already stated that there will not be enough RAM, like chips, to make all the RAM and all the hardware to build this satellite system. So his plan is to just build more for his own companies. Instead of buying them off the market from, say, like Nvidia and all that, he's just going to build them himself with Tesla. There you have it. The future. This is ridiculous. Yes, I agree. But I think it's funny, and I want to see it. I want to see if he can pull it off. Because you're going to realize the grandeur of the project. He's... Again, trying to find the original image, right? Again, he's planning to put 1 million satellites into orbit around the planet. RAM crisis sounds like a storyline in research. So his whole solution is just, I'm gonna build everything. Which one is gonna come first? Super cyborgs or super genetic humans? Honestly, potentially both at the same time. I think humans can do both. But there you have it. Elon's doing mega projects, while the left is still trying to work out if there are two genders or not. I don't know whose side I'm going to be on, but well, you know, you might want to choose a side, but I know whose side I'm on, the guy that's building mega projects, while everyone's still umming and ahhing about what a gender is.
Dialogue for the NPCs or story.
You know, if it makes a good story, I don't know.
See that... Actually, on that topic, this is kind of really funny because she's saying as long as it makes a good story, who cares if it's made with AI? Okay, what does it matter if it's a good piece of art? What it matter if it's made with AI? It's a good piece of art. See, the same logic that she's using there, you can use with AI on any scale. Alien cat girls may be real, we can keep living. I know, right? Apparently in the documentation, they only found out that there's no reproductive organs, but I've always had this theory that a lot of the aliens that come here are basically vessels for aliens that are like across space, and they're using them as like meat puppets to come to Earth to like spy on us, and so that if they get captured, they can't actually capture a real alien. They're capturing basically an alien's meat suit. Like a temporary one. That's my speculation. Because they're saying there's like no reproductive, there's no like food systems or anything. It's just like almost like a meat suit. Not to start a war, but the left knows the history of what they call... who is Lily? Shy Lily? Or Lily? I love a man with a crazy ambition that if it works, it would benefit everyone. I mean, it'd be very interesting to see what he can use the AI compute's power around the orbital planet for, right? I think it'd be very interesting. But I think doing the Starlink one first is the most important one, because that's like an easy thing to do. He's already got Starlink out there, so why not upgrade all the Starlink satellites and make them compute's power? I'm pretty sure that's a feminist with a whole meat suit.
I think the problem people don't realize is...
So she don't give a f*** that people lose.
Okay. My cat just worked out how to get inside, so I'm going to quickly just dispose of her in the oven. Be gone, Satan. Be gone. I think I just stood in a slug. That's nasty. I need a sock. I stood in. She's trying to scam more food out of me. So I gave her food. And then what does she do? Well, what do? I stand in some like slug outside. Now my foot is yucky. Wet. Ew. Ew. Get a different pair of socks. That was disgusting. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was an alien. Maybe I just stood in an alien. Right? But what I find most interesting about this is that, I mean, it's basically the whole idea of, oh, AI is okay as long as it's not... Sorry. Yeah, AI is okay as long as it's not art. That doesn't make any sense to me. So, well, it does. But it's basically she's being a hypocrite. Wait, who's hot?
Their jobs to AI writing. She don't give a fuck about them. Them. Those people that lose their job. She only cares about the artists that do art. This is where I'm having a problem with this. So I'll give her the benefit that she misspoke and maybe she needs to clarify it later. But this at its piece right here is so stupid. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, it's just weird. It's just really weird take. But you know, like I said, I don't really have a problem to Shy Lily. I don't really have a problem with Shy Lily. I don't really care for her like that, either in favor or against. In fact, I'm more in.
Oh, Astra. Oh yeah. I mean, it's not a bad looking specimen of a male.
Favor of Shy Lily. But this was, to me, when I looked at this, I just thought it was really weird that she had that take. So she doesn't really, at least in this video.
This just here, like I said before, the only reason why she's worried about artists losing their job is, one, because she's friends with artists, but also she gets a lot of free art done by artists. So by her defending artists, she has made sure she has curried the favor of, who's Shy Lily? Be glad you don't know. It's a VTuber. But this is Shy Lily. I think it's Shy Lily. Is it Bear or Shy Lily? God, they look the same, okay? They kind of look the same.
She expressed she doesn't really care about writing, Gen I taking writers' jobs, but she has a problem with it in art. I mean, to each their own. I mean, maybe art is just more dear and dear to you. Yeah,
I think it's hypocritical. I think it's generally hypocritical to have a stance like that, because she's basically saying, well, I don't give a shit that Script writers lose their job because if it's made by AI, who cares as long as it's a good story? Okay, well, if it's made by AI, the art, why does it matter if it's good? It's like I said, the clear thing is that, yeah, Shia Lily. Bale kind of looks the same as well. I kind of get confused between the two. But the issue, like I said, Shia Lily clearly has friends with artists. She gets free art. So is she going to complain about it? No, she's going to enjoy the free art and all the rest. So naturally she's going to defend her friends. I think the term you're looking for is double standards. Yeah, it's a double standard. Because I think really she's applying the double standard because she's more focused on defending. She's more focused on making sure she defends her personal interests and her friends. But because the AI script writers aren't her friends, she doesn't care, right? No offense, but most VTubers are generic to me. I don't disagree with you. I'll be completely honest. Do you watch House MD? Yes. That's why there's a bunch of clips there. I sometimes watch old clips from House. I have a whole entire DVD collection for House. But I do agree. I think most VTubers are very generic. I think they're very hypocritical. They're very narcissistic. I think a decent percentage of the VTuber community are grifters and tourists. I really do. I think most VTubers are just grifting. And they're just fake. And I see people always defend VTubers being fake as, yeah, but they're putting on a persona because they've got an avatar. Just because a VTuber puts on an avatar doesn't mean defaultly they're putting on a character, right? I can understand if a VTuber's putting on a character, then I'm like, okay, it's a character, we understand that. But most of these VTubers try to present themselves as real, authentic girls with an avatar. So I don't buy the whole, oh, they're putting on a persona. I'm a VTuber and I don't pay much attention. That's a good thing, Tony. Because honestly, I think, and again, I'm not saying all VTubers, to be very clear, because most VTubers agree, well, I wouldn't say most VTubers, most VTubers that follow me agree with me on this. That a decent chunk, a decent percentage of VTubers in general, so I have to be particularly specific in my wording, I believe that most VTubers are grifting and fake. And a lot of VTubers that follow me agree with me. Because I think a lot of them know that there is a massive issue going on where there's a lot of fakery going on. And I think it isn't just an issue on the left, I also think it's an issue on the right. You only need to look at the Kiwi Farms or the Green Reddit drama with the lolly stuff from the UK. The amount of VTubers that came out attacking lolly-based content while they have a lolly avatar, while they failed to understand what the definition of certain words were. There is a massive grift going on within the anime content VTuber lolly space. And the problem is you call them out and they just tell you to go get put in a wood chipper. Because that's the funny thing. The same VTubers that are sitting there crying about being sent threats of life are the same ones that are weaponizing their audience to send you threats of life. Is a coup gonna happen in the VTuber space? I don't know. I don't know. Because to be completely honest, I don't think most VTubers have the balls to really call a lot of it out, because a lot of them are all friends with each other. A lot of VTubers have kind of built little groups, and some of them might not be grifting, but some of them are, and they're too scared to call their own friends out because they don't want to lose those connections. Do you know content creator Quinn69? I've watched his content. I've never spoken to him personally, but I know who he is. And yes, he sucks at PoE. I just like saying he sucks, because yeah, it's funny.
The more I spend time trying to figure out what this VTubing thing is, and the quicker I...
Hunger Games between them? Yeah, it is. It's like Hunger Games between them. Because most of these VTubers are basically trying to climb a social ladder. And I do feel sorry for some VTubers, because I think some VTubers are just trying to stay in their own lane and they don't want to get into these scuffles with other VTubers, even though some clearly have a passion for things. And I've got specific names in my mind when I say this, right? But there are some VTubers that I think are generally good people, that are generally passionate about the things that they cover, but they have to be nice to the other VTubers, that I think even they sit there and probably tilt their eyes and go, yeah, they're not real, they're not, you know, they're faking it, they're, you know, they're high school type girls. But the problem is they don't want to call them out because it's such a cliquey, conniving group. They're all going to try and destroy each other, and they only need an excuse to go after each other. So it's generally one of those where I think a lot of VTubers are too scared to call out the bad actors because they don't want to lose that foothold. They don't want to lose that audience.
I realized that it's a bunch of suck-ups and high school is with privileged opinions, and they are ruining a lot for us smaller indie VTubers. We're heading straight over to Iron Mouse. It's been like popping off on the timeline and complaining, you know, these double standard hypocrites. I get that you...
What about Iron Mouse? She hasn't sent her fans. I'm not talking... Yeah, again, I'm not talking about every single VTuber when I'm talking in these specific situations. Iron Mouse hasn't sent her audience, so that'd be... I feel like I have to re-emphasize on a million things because someone always brings up one specific VTuber and goes, but this VTuber, it's like, again, yes, there are a lot of VTubers that weaponize their audiences, but not all of them do it. But Iron Mouse also has her own issues when it comes to her own audience, in the fact that she continuously gives her audience what she wants, and they're just treating her like garbage. Swear to God, this cat is gonna... She's trying to scam food out of me, and she just got fed again. Swear to God, I have a child. She needs to be tucked into bed, so she wants to go to my bed, and so I have to tuck her into the bed, so that way she goes to sleep. So I have to put her on her little bed that's on my bed, and then cover her up with a little blankie, and then she goes to sleep. She's viewer captured. Yes. Yes. Iron Mouse is viewer captured. And that's why I do somewhat feel sorry for her. She just got fed twice. I fed her just before I started stream, and then I just fed her like less than an hour into stream. And then she's like, oh no, you need to tuck me into bed. It's like, okay, cat, I'll tuck you into bed. Give her an hour and she'll be bloody complaining for more food. Male VTubers exist. Yes, but I've got a hot take about male VTubers that I've always wanted to say. And to be very clear, Tony, I'm not talking about you, okay? But I generally think a lot of guys that get into VTubing do it to try and date female VTubers. I genuinely believe that. There are so many male VTubers that I have seen that you can tell the only reason why they're being a VTuber is because they want to date specific VTubers that they like. So they try and like suck up to them really hard. There are so many I've worked out and I'm going, yep, you, oh yep, you're all just doing this so you can date them. I'm not talking about you, Tony, okay? You're an exception, okay? We all know we all know you love Dez. But just let the cat eat. She's 15 years old. She's an old cat. I'm not calling you out, but you know, make sure you invite me to the wedding. But I do think that. I think there are a lot of actual male VTubers that do male VTubing just because they want to shack up with a bunch of female VTubers. So they do it because of how cliquey the VTuber community is. Because a lot of VTubers will only collab with other VTubers, right? So I just think that is a general thing. Like a bunch of they just, yeah. I think it's adorable, but it's a disaster waiting to happen. It is a disaster waiting to happen. Put shot collar around your kid. I would get banned for doing that, unlike Hassan. Is Tony Down Under... Yeah, he is gay. Everyone remember, Tony is gay. I'd like everyone in chat to just say, hi Tony, I hear you're gay. bro, she's French Canadian and she seems cute. She seems nice. Is she white? That's all that matters. Is she white? Yes or no? If she's white, then she's good, right? She's French Canadian and she's white. Go for it. Go for it.
You get to decide who do you want to work with together as a sponsor. We are not talking about this.
Bro, I remember where you live. Yes, you know. That's not even the most incriminating thing you know about me, Tony. Is she white? I'll have to ask. There you go. She's white. Well, then it's all good, right? We get it. French are dumb people, but you gotta sometimes accept a dumb one. French people are hot, Tony. Yes! French. She's French Canadian. Just bring her to Australia, right? Get her out of that shithole. Bring her to Australia. We're fixing Australia, okay? We're fixing it. And if we bring a good girl over, you at least get another good vote on our side. See, bring the good ones over, Tony. Bring the good ones over. You bring her, or you can have her. I'll... You know who my favorite is, Tony, so we'll leave it at that. We all know who my favorite VTuber waifu is.
Obviously, you have the right to turn down any sponsor
French Canadian, is it a Pokemon?
you don't feel comfortable with, or
So you're saying we should purify the VTuber community like the Enclave? Honestly, it'd take a lot of work. Fine. I'll bring Cinevi. Wait, are you saying... What do you mean by... What do you mean you'll bring? Are you getting greedy there, Tony?
you know. But in this case, what I understood, she took the sponsorship, didn't really do the research, let the people, her team, her staff, do all that.
Again, the funny thing is about this is that the game studio publicly stated that they use AI. So she did no research, her team did no research. So it makes no sense why she didn't know about the AI stuff. We know which is your favorite. You're talking about that one on stream. Yeah. But I don't want to get incriminated. When is the spirit starting his harem adventure? Dude, I don't even have one girl interested in me. And you're talking about harems? Hey, bro. Brother's got needs. Are you... You got Dez. Don't be getting greedy, bro. Don't be getting greedy. I know where you live.
Stuff, and apparently they've been lying to her that this game, which we're gonna try out later on, has been using AI, and she got furious about it. And of course, with all these like circle jacks up on the top, of course they're all gonna jump on the bandwagon and go like, boo, AI, oh no, won't somebody please think of the poor artist? Come on, like, stop being a freaking hypocrite.
You are the perfect man for an isekai harem anime. I'd just be happy with one girl. That's the funny thing, actually. Now that you're talking about that, I was complaining on X about how, like, the dating scene is so terrible, and some guy in the comments was like, well, maybe you should shave, and that will make you more appealing. So I shaved, and I was like, okay, what do I look... I forgot what I look like when I don't shave. How about we try and bring Juju, and I'll bring Dez and Sinner. Juju's married. I ain't taking married women. She seems like a sweet woman, but she's married. I ain't interested in married women. Is Cinder a tourist? Yes. No. Actually, no. I was thinking of someone else. I was thinking, Shy Lily. No, Cinder... I don't watch enough of Cinder to know enough about Cinder. But she seems okay. You look like you with a beard. I don't know what that means. I mean, bro is literally the same in the same state. Yeah. Wait, are you trying to say NTR? You got some weird things, bro.
Great. If you really
Hey, is that handsome?
think like
There he is. There's the little shit in my comment section. You said shave, I shaved. See, now I look terrible. It's your fault. See, I shaved to prove a point. I shaved to prove a point. Cat guy. See, look. I look like a child now. People are gonna think that I'm like 12 years old. I need a better shaver so I can actually at least keep some hair, and then not have it so have it longer but not too thick.
like that, then I can't support AI.
I look great. I don't like it. The last time I shaved, a VTuber told me I looked better without shaving, so I was like,
I want
"You look 10 years old." Yes.
nothing to do with that.
How else am I apparently gonna build this harem that I don't have?
Fair enough. I mean, you do.
Yeah, I think you go a chin strap. I just need a shaver that allows me to have a little bit more hair, not too much.
You, right? But get with the times, because you're using your
Your mustache looks square. I don't know. I use the same shaver of the same length, and it just feels too long. I need to shave it maybe a little bit more. It just looks a little bit. It looks square. I think it's because it kind of grows in a weird way, so I need to shave just a bit there.
mobile phone. You
look French. We'll find out my descendant soon.
paying Twitter blue check mark, which operates with Grok AI 1-on-1. So you basically, it's okay to support it there and give it the money and use that. But when it comes to a video game, using certain placeholders and assets and maybe make it faster with the coding and whatever, it's not okay anymore, right? Because that's where you draw the line. This is where you go like, oh no, I refuse to partake with this. But to this I say, please, then delete all the apps on your phone.
See, Tony, you deserve to be bullied. You deserve to be bullied because you've been greedy now. Because you won't accept the French-Canadian nice girl that clearly wants to have some kinky time with you. Instead, you're just getting greedy, bro. You're getting greedy. I tell you what I'd do. Go Clippers and clip the biggest setting and then use a... And the best of a man can get the stuff behind the chin or throat. Yeah, I'll get a different shaver that's a bit longer. The spiritual is French-Jewish lollipop.
Stop using the internet all in general, I would say, because let's be honest here, the way AI operates, it's all over the internet. Every app, every video game, every code, every program, it's unavoidable at this stage. And this narrow-mindedness of them that, oh my god, the artists are losing their jobs, they're losing their commissions, and we are all gonna be replaced. Please. I got replaced 20 years ago.
French is a great offense. You shouldn't joke about it. It is a very condition that afflicts many people. Yes. I don't want to be French. Then I'd surrender all the time.
Oh.
You should get wax and wax the hair off your... Nah.
With Google Translate, right? I used to study languages and linguistic, and that was my line of work. Now you can translate any text on the fly, right? So no one needs a bloody translator anymore. I'm out of business, and so I was one of the first to go.
Mugen is French? Well, that explains why he's an idiot.
But am I gonna bitch and whine about how much I hate AI and how it's ruining everything and oh my god, and won't somebody please think of us poor?
How much would it cost to accept your Frenchiness? Never. Never. I need to be the perfect specimen for My favorite VTuber.
Translators that studied years at university to learn our profession and now been replaced by a coding engine that spews out all the grammar and the text faster than that we can even like think, right?
The reality is, when it comes to games, is AI is inevitability, right? I mean, more games are going to use AI, and you're going to see a lot more tools that will simplify processes, improve coding, and stuff like that, and there'll be a lot of oversight. The only issue is when it goes too far, and it leads to AI taking over too much, where there's no oversight, and then everything goes wrong. That's the big problem. That time, a streamer became a Jewish French femboy on his way to defeat the Demon Lord. I swear to Jesus Christ. Swear to Jesus Christ. I've almost finished watching season 2 of Moonlit Fantasy again. I wanted to rewatch. I kind of need to start reading the light novels again. Well, not read them from the beginning, but read from where I actually finished. Perfect Specimen is accepting that you are French, Jewish, lolly, Guna.
Get with the times. Stop being a hypocrite. And it's not that the artists all are gonna lose their job. If you're a good artist and you like what you do, you should continue. I mean, there's still people that do manually craft furnitures. There are blacksmiths. There are professions out there which are replaced by machines, and it goes faster. But still, there's a passion. There's creativeness that lets you choose to continue with this. I mean, I'm still talking in different languages, although I can technically Google Translate everything, right? But
thank you for the $2 super chat, Tony. Need to be perfect, sure, bro. We know you're French. Chat, you're all adopted.
you got to get with the time. And I'm so over this, like taking a sponsor, and apparently she got like $15,000 or something to play this game for 2-3 hours. And she does that and then finds out that there has been AI involved in the game, which is so terrible, right? Although she plays other...
These chicks would be multi-millionaires, by the way. And I also want to just propose something here. I want to see how many people in chat actually know this, by the way. Chat is freaky? Yes, chat is very freaky right now. I don't know what the hell started this. All I said was Tony has a thing for Dez, and that he should accept his love and affection for a French Canadian, but no, he's just picking on poor old me. Poor old me. Apparently now I'm French, a lolly, Jewish. What next? Got descendants of catgirl aliens. Spirit needs to learn to love himself. I just want someone to love me. That sounds so depressing. But I was going to say, how many people know that Iron Mouse has a child? Raise your hand in chat. 1, if you knew. 2, if you didn't. How many people knew or didn't know that Iron Mouse has a child? Just saying. How many of you knew? And before you say, that's false, she doesn't have a child, they have clips that backdate when she first started streaming, that she openly stated that she has a child. Wait, what? Yeah, I don't think people realize that Iron Mouse has a child. Yeah, there are clips out there of her stating in a stream way back when she first started that she had a child. Yeah. And again, she's not spoken about it since. People will say it's misinformation, but it's not hard to pull up the old clips. I don't have them on me right now because it's not like something I was preparing for. But yeah, it's common knowledge amongst a lot of people online that she has a child. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. There is nothing wrong with that. But what I find interesting is that a lot of these VTubers, they do hide a lot of themselves off the internet because they want to sell an image to an audience. How dare you mentally destroy Tony? Espiritu, don't you feel shame? I feel absolutely no shame in destroying him mentally. I think I just broke him. I don't think people realize that she had a kid. That's what I mean. A lot of people don't realize that she had a kid. Imagine her audience and how they would feel. And that's what's interesting is actually it's not hard to find the old clips where she has stated that she has a kid. It's actually not that hard. But like I said, nothing wrong with it, but the point that I'm trying to illustrate is that a lot of these girls, they paint themselves in a certain way to sell themselves to an audience. I can't remember if it's Shy Lily or it's Bao. They have a boyfriend, and they're like pretending they don't. Pokimane, there was a clip that she just went to a birthday party and the neighbor came along and everyone's just like, oh yeah, it's a boyfriend. But she says, oh, I'm single. So, Tony, did you know Spirit has 69 virgin wives? I just want one wife, and you're saying I got 69 virgin wives? Why not 6-7? 6-7 virgin wives.
The games that also clearly used AI.
And the father of Sea Dog? No, it isn't. Based on my understanding of the story itself, she had the child when she was very young, and it made her health condition much worse. It made it much, much, much worse. Masha, please got isekai to real life so you can choose between me or... I wish I had someone like Masha in my life. 6-7 wise, exactly. 69 is funny. Yeah, I guess so.
Like Resident Evil. She even has a text-to-speech program that's supported by AI, and a Twitter account that is directly linked to Grok. And Grok is also AI, so what the f*** are you doing?
I mean, to be very clear here, by the way, our algorithm uses AI. So whenever we upload videos, our videos get recommended by an AI. We receive content based on an AI. The X algorithm is AI. We have Grok, which is used all the time, and it's used for community notes as well. So this whole idea, and that's just that alone. You look at Google, that uses AI. Microsoft uses AI. If you want to be honest, I wish I could use less AI, but I only really like using AI when I'm using it for Grok. That's generally the most I like to use AI for is Grok, because I find Grok to be very useful. Spiritu, please don't bring up that meme. I have so many issues with that with my school. I keep getting VTubers that keep sending me clips of the song 6-7, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, I swear to God, you girls are going to drive me up a bloody wall. There's a bunch of them. They all DM me, and they go, hey, 6-7, and I'm just like, oh, you're going to kill me, girls. I want to get rid of the AI, go out in the middle of the woods and give up tech. Well, that's why I don't like getting smart devices. I don't want a smart TV, I don't want a smart fridge, I just want basic software, because I don't want all this AI slop. Mario's AI is different to Grok and different to Search, to be fair. I mean, I get that, but at the end of the day, if you really want to escape AI, and you don't like using AI, there's a lot of areas that you've got to get rid of AI, right? And some of it's choice, and some of it's you can't help. Is Iron Mouse going to take accountability? At the end of the day, Iron Mouse just needs to be honest with herself and just stick to her values. Spirit, have you taken care of your food attacks yet? I haven't even dealt with my taxes over the last 2 years. I need to sort out my taxes for the last 2 years. I'm coming up to my 3rd year. I know after 3 years of not doing my taxes, the government generally sends me a letter, and they just say, hey, you haven't done your taxes. Can you go do it, please? I'd be like, I've had a letter doing that once. There was one time I didn't do my taxes for 3 years, and they just send me a letter and they go, hey, go do your taxes. And I'd be like, fine. So I actually need to go do my taxes soon.
Doing, Mousy. And you do this, and then you paint a bad picture. You got your money, and then you ruined it for everyone else. For everyone else. For everyone that is smaller and would have loved to get like a sponsor or maybe do.
You need an accountant. I got a good Indian I can recommend. I just need to get off my ass and actually go see my tax consultant and just sort it out. But I also need to get all the paperwork. The reason why I've been dreading it, doing my taxes, is the 1 year that I've got to do is easy, because it's all simple. I know my YouTube revenue, I know all the other stuff, so it's easy to do that 1 year. It's the year after, which is not, it's like last year's. The reason why I'm dreading it is because I've got to sort out so many little esoteric things, because it was when my mother passed away. So I have to deal with all the inheritance stuff when it comes to the properties. At one point I had a property where I had to rent it out and then get rid of it, and there's all this other little tax stuff that I had to deal with the estate, with my mother's estate. So I'm like, ugh. And the super stuff. So there's a lot of paperwork that I've got to work out. So I'm dreading that sorting those taxes out, because I think I've got to owe some money, not too much, but it's a pain in the ass. Bro, estate. I believe I've got capital gains tax for a property. And because of it, I had my financial advisor moved money into super so that I didn't have to pay as much taxes. So he juggled things around so that I don't have to pay as much taxes, so I can keep as much of the money as possible. The problem is it's just heaps of fucking paperwork, because you got to show them all the paperwork and be like, okay, I deposited this much into my superannuation. I received this much for a certain period of time from the property, and I also inherited this money, and here's also my dividends from these properties. This is my passive income. This is my YouTube income. This is my tax write-offs, and then also other stuff. So it's just a pain in the ass. Did your lawyer not do it for you? What, my taxes, or sort out the paperwork? Because my financial advisor sorted it all out. I just got to get all the paperwork. I've just got to. It's just a pain in the ass to sort it all out. I'm just dreading it. That's all. Capital gains tax. Holy shit! I hate your government. Because, so my grandfather passed away several years ago, and he had 2 properties. He had one property that he used to live in, and one property he had to get built because his wife was like, oh, I need a fancy new house, blah, 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 blah. She was a vulture. So she ended up getting that house, and the other house that he had ended up going to my mother. And my mother had that house for a while, and she was renting it out. But if you hold the house for 2 years, you're liable to pay capital gains tax, which is like 50% on it. Now, you'd say, okay, but you've inherited the house. Yes, I then inherited that second property from her. But the 2-year thing still applied to me. So it meant that I have to pay 50% on capital gains tax on a property that I just inherited. So my financial advisor had to do some fiddly fun stuff so that when I sell the property, because he wanted me to sell it, so that I can then invest the money, I then have to put a certain amount of money into super and do a bunch of other stuff, so that way I don't actually have to pay as much taxes. So I'm not sure how much taxes I have to pay. I think it's around $10,000 in taxes that I have to pay. So, yeah. So I have to pay taxes because my mother died. Yeah, it's annoying. I'm generally irritated. That's why I'm dreading it, because it's a pain in the bloody arse. And for a short period when I had the property, I was getting a small amount of rent from it. So I've also got to work that out as well. So it's like a lot of little fiddly stuff that I've got to make sure I work out. Once that's done, it's easy. Right? Once I've done that tax year, everything's easy after that, because my financial advisor does all most of the tax stuff at the same time because he's dealing with my finances. So anything that's taxable is dealt with on his end, and he knows roughly what it is. So it'll all be paperwork that he'll just print out, hand to me, and then I go to my tax consultant. He puts it into my file and then goes, boom, here's your taxes. This is how much you've got to pay, or this is how little you've got to pay, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm done. So it's, once that 1 year's done, I'll be fine. I just hate the fact that I've got to deal with that one specific tax year when it comes to my mother's passing, because it's so overly convoluted and overly complicated.
Do what you do, you ruin it because
I have a spreadsheet. I have a complete spreadsheet of my YouTube income, my X income, my Patreon income, my dividends that I have. So I do own some American shares and companies that I had before my mother's passing. So I have little things like that, and I have it all sorted out in a spreadsheet. So... have you heard about the stupid price increase for the Switch 2? Yes. I mean, I knew it was going to go up last year. I buy and sell illegal... Don't tell us that in chat.
Because now it's like, oh...
But I do want to get a Switch 2 at some point. Because I want to get the new Fire Emblem game, but they're increasing the price. So it's like... Ugh.
No, don't play this game because it's using AI and it's ruining the environment. It is so terrible that people are not creative anymore. Now imagine an AI engine.
I do think AI is doing some damage to the environment, just to be clear there. I mean, the fact that they're using so much water to cool their systems down, it's like, Jesus Christ. That's why I like the idea of the space idea, right? Put the AI in space. Put it in space. That will work. Plenty of space, cooling's easy. The only downside about putting it in space is radiation damage.
Calculates the answer to solving a chronic disease or something, right? Let's say it cures cancer. Are these bitches also gonna stand there and go like, oh no, I don't support AI anymore because it's evil and it's stealing the artists' jobs? Dude, come on. In that case, you shouldn't be able to do a digital art altogether with
Oh my god, she said what I said on Leon's stream. Oh my god, she said the thing. She said exactly what I said on Leon's stream, which is Words of Paradise. This is exactly the thing that I said. If you don't like AI, then you shouldn't be using digital tools, because it's just AI is just using advanced digital tools, right? And this is the thing, like, you know, you got pen and paper and all the rest, but they use all these digital tools where they can change things and do things and cut corners and take templates and all the rest, and they're able to create art highly efficiently with using tablets and digital tools. But they're okay with that, but AI takes it too far. Why? Because AI takes the control of art out of their hands, and it democratizes it so everyone has access to it rather than only some having access to it. She's saying exactly what I said on Leon's stream. Exactly the same thing. Juju. Based banana girl. Base banana girl.
build tools and stabilizers and all this stuff. What do you think VTubing is? It's a fucking program that is run by codes, and I bet your ass that Live 2D and the SEMA and all these engines are also operating using AI. Everyone is. All the games. So does
Juju seems awesome. She is. She's amazing. She's a great content creator. I respect her a lot because she's very transparent about the fact that, one, she's married. Just want to point that out. Tony, seeing as you're trying to get greedy over here. But I like the fact that she's very transparent about being married, and just the fact that she's very like grounded and down to earth. I did a reaction to one of her other videos a while back, and she actually promoted me in her Discord server, which was really sweet of her. I actually really appreciated that of her. I might have to. I'll reply to that afterwards. That's from Alco. But yeah, I like Juju. Love you too, buddy. Oh, you can't be too greedy. You can have Des. You gotta abide by the Jeeves Convention. Sharing is caring, okay?
Game developer made a statement.
No need to be jealous. I'm not jealous. I'm not Jonas. Tony, you're the greed for the Bible talks about. Exactly. Tony is apparently gay. And he's been greedy. I asked Spiritu if he did his Fudo taxes. Yeah, I haven't done my Fudo taxes. I don't know what the hell. Oh, yeah, I remember that stupid clip with Fudo. But yeah, I need to do my taxes.
And then over 95% of all the games that are released have some kind of AI, like in the process. The company has been using AI. Be it with coding, be it with replacing assets, be it something. Everyone uses it. And you be a fucking moron not to. You're standing in the way of progress. Because all you can comprehend in your tiny pea brain is like, what about the artist? What about their privilege of earning money rather than generating an image? And that is hypocrite. It's absolutely retarded with statement like, AI is stinky poo-poo. Can you imagine when humanity went industrialized, all these people like, oh no, don't let the industry take over.
Which is interesting because Juju, I believe, said in, I can't remember where it was, but she said that her previous job got replaced by AI. So the fact that she's still pro AI, even though she lost her job to AI, take some balls. Yeah, I need some waifus, Tony. Plus, I got my... I'm not going to incriminate myself anymore.
Over and advance to make things easier for us, right? Can you imagine a bunch of lip-tarts like that standing around and going like, no, we should still like plow our fields manually and get back pain and stuff. Why should a machine do this for us? It's so stupid to go like, yeah, don't support this because it's using AI resources, because every single freaking game does. And why is it okay for you to play Resident Evil? I still draw because I love doing artwork. I don't know, play music. I sit here knitting, although I could probably go out and buy some fabric made faster. From it.
I still think there's going to be a desire for genuine things, like genuine art, genuine music. Like, for example, this is going to be a hot take, but you know all those AI music videos that get released? And I said this to another VTuber. I honestly find them really boring. Like, a lot of those AI music videos, I just find them pretty... they're like fun to listen to once or twice. But beyond that, they're kind of boring for me because most of the time they're just kind of like slapped together. They're kind of like, they're there for the current trend, right? They're like an AI video that's just there for the current trend. A bunch of people will slap every single VTuber into them to get a reaction out of it. And it's like, okay, that's great. You get your 2 minutes of views and then everyone moves on. But I still always go back to real artists when it comes to music because there's just something more authentic, there's more soul in it, right? There's just something more beautiful, right? A spiritual will remain. Why is everyone talking about me remaining alone? While I'm talking about AI here, everyone's talking about my love life sucking. Chat, you suck. Ugh. From an artist to an AI user, join the dark side. I think there's always going to be a desire for real, authentic, like, art in general when it comes to music, just anything in general. And I think there's a place for AI, right? But I just feel like there's something different about art. Spiritu, don't you worry, you'll get a wife. At this rate, fucking everyone thinks I'm bloody gonna die alone.
Chinese factory, but, you know... There's still like something to, this will never go away, no matter.
You'll get an AI girlfriend eventually.
What? Because I know I have a lot of artist friends who think like just because there's AI, that's it, that's the end of the world now. But no, I remember a year ago, I got so much from the internet for reposting an AI image. It was insane, guys. Everyone jumped on.
I got so much hate for using AI for a thumbnail, which was kind of funny. Because I was using it for a couple of videos, and the person like crashed out. It was like, I'm going to unsub from your videos because you used AI in your thumbnails. I was like, okay, but the contents is still the same. No, 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 no. So, I don't know. It's stupid. Oh, I'm gonna ban more than chat in a minute, Tat. Fucking getting DMs and bloody clock and everything. I'm actually gonna steal that image of the clock now. It's gonna become my bloody thumbnail or something. Jesus Christ. You know, the best thing about the AI is that this could be the best marketing thing ever. All you need to do is market that your thing will have no AI in it. It's the best. To be honest, actually, Tony, that is actually a good idea. You claim that there's no AI in it, you put AI in it, people complain, people go play the game, win. It reminds me of all the political content creators that are like, they'll come out and they'll just say like the most generic political takes, knowing that it's just like, they're just going to get into drama for it. And then they get like free publicity. I remember there was like one VTuber, she literally just ran a checklist of everything everyone else was saying that was like the political right, and then people started like attacking her, and then instantly like content creators made a video on it. I was like, dude, that's just literally, and then every other VTuber started doing it as well. And I'm like, when the content creator did it, I said in a tweet, I took the clip and I said, you know, every content creator and VTuber is going to start doing this, right? Because it's an easy way to grow from drama farming, from people attacking you. Like, they want to be attacked. And people are like, no, 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 no one wants to get attacked. And I'm like, I don't think you understand. If you say the right things and you get attacked by the left, the right makes videos on it. You get free publicity, and then everyone comes watch you. It's free public, and then every VTuber, well, not every, but a bunch of VTubers started doing it, and everyone's like, oh, look what they're doing this, and I'm like, I literally called that like a month ago. No, you didn't. It's just like, ugh.
On the freaking AI anti-train, and I have stood my ground ever since, and it led to me being even more and more.
I'm surprised Juju didn't transition to working as an anime localizer. I'm kind of surprised too, because she said that she does she was doing like translations and stuff as a job, I believe. So I was kind of surprised. To be honest, she would actually, you know why she doesn't do anime translations is because she isn't batshit insane. That's why. She's not batshit insane, so naturally she isn't going to get all of that. Well, they're just not going to give her a job. What about instead of sending a spirit to a Fudo, we send him a lolicon version of... I ain't gay.
Curious to how this engine works.
I like women.
What it is capable of. I'm learning.
Thank you for the super chat, Candy Sensei. I don't know what the currency is, so I just say thank you for the super chat. The 50 P's. Pence? P's? PPs? Thank you for the 50s. You will play Pragmata. I don't know. There's a lot of games that I really want to play, but I just haven't gotten to it because I'm lazy. But also, if I play games, then I don't have time for anime. See, that's the problem. I'm very one-track mind. I can't balance between the two. It's like, I've been watching a lot of anime recently. Oh, you ain't gay? Damn, poor Tony. I know, right? Poor Tony. Poor Tony. He really wants me to be gay. Because apparently he doesn't like Des because she's a French Canadian. What a racist. Tony's a racist. He doesn't like French Canadians. White girls. I'm going to assume she's white. Do you know the VTuber Giga? No, I don't. You've asked that a couple of times and the answer's no. I don't know who they are. But yeah, Tony's a racist. He doesn't like French Canadian white girls. And apparently he's gay for me. I'm sorry, Tony. I don't see you that way. I'm more into Sinai than you. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna have to reject you, Tony. I hope you understand. It's not you. It's me. I want you to know, Tony, that you're a great guy. You really are. You're a sweet guy. But I like women. And I think Des is more for you, and I think you should chase that French-Canadian white girl that apparently you're racist towards. And me, I'll just stick to my humble dreams of Sinai, which I will never get. Because she's like a massive actual otaku. Ouch, bro. I get it.
Learning to, I don't know, create music, make videos. I've done a bunch of stuff, and it's very interesting, and it allows me to be creative.
Gonna get Sinai and Des hard enough. I will fight your ass, bro. I'll kangaroo box your ass.
By
I'll meet you at the local convention in a couple of weeks. We'll be like, bing, bing, pow.
skipping all the boring steps and access things that I wouldn't be able to if it wasn't so easy to understand, right? Imagine if I had to hire animators and all that stuff. It's not possible for me. Maybe for...
He won't even leave any breadcrumbs for me, Candy. He's such a greedy man. He's so greedy.
For these big streamers like Iron Mouse.
I think Mousy is probably happy that Venezuela got liberated in January. I mean, Cuba apparently might be becoming the next state for the US. That would be interesting. Hell yeah, bro. I'll buy the first round of drinks after I... My friend's a black belt, and he'll just sit there and watch. He'll just watch the whole time. He'll just be like, alright, start. And he'll just be picking up my techniques.
And Shy Lily, you have tons and tons of money. For them, it's not a problem, but most of us...
I didn't expect his chat to turn into a hentai tag conversation.
Streamers...
To be honest, it's probably the best chat's been ever.
We stream to small audience, and we don't make that kind of income.
What about Puerto Rico? I'm special. I can't remember where Puerto Rico is. I don't know my maps very well. I can't remember where Puerto Rico... I remember there was talk from the US president that they were like, oh yeah, we'll probably take over Cuba soon. And I'm like, that's a big jump. Like, how are you going to take it over? Just remove the government and be like, alright, we're taking over Cuba. You all get to vote for a president now. Or a state leader or whatever the bloody hell you get. My personal favorite tag is impregnation. I haven't done karate in a bit, but don't you worry, mate. I'll brush you up on it. Oh, will you now? Black belt first, Dan, by the way. Wait, really, Tony? At your age, 25? Puerto Rico is the side of the US, and they're owned the US, and they're owned the US. Okay, I'm dumb.
But
I think I know where Puerto Rico is. I'm just not sure.
Yet we dream of maybe also having an animated lore video or something.
You're kind of young, Tony, to have a black belt with a first dan. But then I know a lot of young kids that have black belts, so it could make sense. Did it when I was a kid? Okay. I'll still kick you ass.
Something, right? Keep up with the industry, and this allows us to. And I find like gatekeeping this or turning this around and standing there on your high horse and looking down on the rest of us and going like, boo, you basically suck for using this. You only think like it's bad because it's affecting you, right? The art.
Puerto Rico is the island just east of Cuba. That's what I thought. I just wasn't 100% sure. Just wasn't 100% sure. Yeah, Puerto Rico owned by the US, and Iron Mouse is from Puerto Rico. Okay, that makes a lot of sense then. Because I just remember seeing a bunch of clips that Trump and all that were talking about, like, making Cuba a state or something. And I'm like, I wonder how that would go. Because it doesn't sound like it will be a military operation. Typical spiritual gatekeeping black belts. I'm not even a black belt. My friend's a black belt. I'm not a black belt. Still kick his ass.
Art industry. You're like this privileged artist. You can't say that, Juju. I can. I do whatever I want, a monkey. And these are supposed to be the role models or the top dogs of the VTubing sphere. And the more I see what the hell is going on the top, the more I go like, what the fuck even is this, right? They want to gatekeep a lot. And they kind of drill the audience, right? Iron Mouse audience probably go like, boo, AI. And, you know, she wouldn't go against that because she wants to make sure that her thoughts align with who watches her, because she wouldn't want to risk losing what she built up over the years. I get it. I get it. So you up to them. I can...
iMouse, like I said, is a prison to her own audience. Not even black belt. Rip Spirit got his ass kicked by Tony. All the pre-cocky means, you know, I'm gonna kick your ass. That's alright. I'll just get a stick. The only black belt I want in BBC is not the British guy. I'll probably end up being, I don't know how long it would take me to get, but because I got to go through the process. So with my dojo, I have to be on blue belt for 2 years. I've been on a blue belt for a year now. They put a minimal requirement that you've got to be a blue belt for at least 2 years before you go to brown belt. And I would say I'll probably have to be on brown belt, I don't know, probably for a year. I know that sounds weird to be on brown belt for only a year, because then I'll go to brown belt black stripe, and then that will probably be for another year, and then probably go for my black belt. So probably within 3 years of training, I'll probably be black belt, because they make you do the yards, right? They don't hand it to you easily. They drill really hard, make sure that you actually can do the tasks. But yeah, but it's one of those where it's not like I've seen like a lot of those McDojos. I should go through some of those videos, clips on the stream, go over like the McDojos for the things. Spiritus stabs you in the eye with his toe.
Care less if everyone in chat go like, boo, Juju, you're using AI? Yeah, well then, then be gone, you know? I'm not gonna adjust and run after a bunch of people. I realized this really, really fast, because this is literally what happened to me like a year ago. The more I spend time trying to figure out what this VTubing thing is, and the quicker I realized that it's a bunch of fuck-ups and high school bitches with privileged...
That sounds like a weird intro, by the way, getting kicked in the nuts. I'm reading chat there. What's the worst tag do you all think I'll start eye penetration? Sounds like a hentai in the making.
Opinions. And they...
McDojo reactions would be a blast. Yeah, I've watched a lot of McDojo videos, and honestly, some of them are hilarious. Yep, I can vouch for it. I did Filipino martial arts, got my black belt 5-6 years, and took another 2-3 to get the first dan. Yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, I've only been doing it for just over 2 years now, karate. So when I'm just kind of wondering, because you said that you do Filipino martial arts. I'm kind of curious where you went, what dojo. Do you know a person by the name of Squiz, by chance, Tony?
They are ruining a lot for us smaller indie VTubers. They are. And I used to look up to these guys. But the more I'm aware of what's going on, the more I'm going like, what the hell? And the way this spirals down and affects smaller content creators, right, that would have probably potentially wanted to...
I think AI actually gives a lot of access to small content creators to be able to keep up with the bigger content creators, so they have the bigger finances to hire all the artists. Because that's the other issue, though, too, is a lot of the good artists are all locked behind a lot of costs. And that's the thing about, like, Shy Lily and Bell, is they go to artists that are really good, but they're really expensive. Tony, unfortunately not. Okay, because he does actually training for Filipinos martial arts. He does stick training for Filipinos. I've done a little bit of it during karate because he'll spice things up. But where I go isn't where you live, it's somewhere else. Like when you mentioned Filipino style, I was like, maybe. But there's plenty of other places as well. But the one that I go to, he does a multitude of different styles. So I thought maybe you know who he is, but clearly not. But I mean, there's a bunch of different dojos in our area.
To buy the game, maybe even try to get the sponsor, and it's all gotten taken away because some has to complain that, oh my god, what about the artist? What about the artist? Why don't you artists start drawing and creating rather than sitting there and whining about stuff? How about that? Huh?
The more I learn about a spiritual, the more I think he's an isekai protagonist. I wish I was, because then I might actually get a girlfriend.
May I suggest, stop tweeting and crying like a bitch and get a pencil out and start creating. Why don't you? Huh? And for those who want to make a global impact, oh, the environment, no, stop using mobile phones. Start growing your own food in your garden.
I want to grow my own food.
Help.
I want a bigger backyard so I can grow my own food, and then I can get some rainwater tanks and store my own water. I'm like the biggest environmentalist when it comes to that kind of stuff. Have you ever used your karate skills outside in the streets? I've never gotten into an actual fight. I've actually not had to use it in real combat yet. So maybe you should try dating apps. Trust me, dating apps are really bad. Really bad. But I've never had to use... I mean, I've done sparring and, you know, all that kind of stuff against different groups, like black belts, my rank, lower ranks, teachers, that kind of stuff. But I've never had to use it in real combat. Which is lucky, but I mean, we're trained to de-escalate as well, because that's one of the things that we have to do in our dojo, is that we have to make sure that we de-escalate situations so that we don't have to use. Because the rule is very simple when it comes to karate, right? You de-escalate as much as possible and try to avoid a conflict, because if you have to get into a conflict, you are then allowed to use any necessary force to protect yourself. Libertarians hate the environment. I don't know. I feel like libertarians should care about the environment, because I feel like the environment is a good way to become self-sustaining away from the government. That's why I like the idea of green energy, like solar panels and batteries, right? Because I like the idea of not having to rely on the government grid. Thus, I'd like to inevitably disconnect this house from the grid, so that way, you know, I don't have to worry about ever relying on the grid and then not having to pay a supply charge. But I mean, it's kind of funny because a lot of people were like, oh yeah, you're like Batman because of the house. But the funny thing is, I've had the government turn off my power before, and it didn't work. Because during the really hot weather, and Tony can vouch for this, in the really hot weather, our state government will turn off the power in certain districts to preserve energy for certain districts. And they turned off power in my district, and I didn't lose power because I have solar and battery. So I have it all connected so that if the government turns off my power, I still have power. I have a system built in place so that I don't lose power. So on top of that, it's kind of helpful when it comes to all the other stuff with the house. He was a 12th Dan. Huh? I got to learn the character before he passed. He was a 12th Dan. But 10th Dan is the highest. There's no such thing as a 12th Dan. That's weird. Unless... I don't know, I'd have to look that up. Yeah, I believe 10th Dan is the highest Dan. When you make an environmental sufficiency, it is no longer natural environment. I guess, yeah. Non-dateable in your dojo. The problem with my dojo is most people are males, and who are the females are either too young or too old. Because there's one woman in there that's like in her 70s, which she's pretty good for her age, as far as karate goes. Search up, that's his name. Yeah, I'm gonna have to, unless there's like some secret inside joke you've got going. Filipino martial arts. He was a survivor member. What the? He held the rank of the 12th Dan black belt in both. Okay, so it's a completely different style. It's not karate, because it's like, because karate, I was thinking karate, and I was like, wait, there's only 10 ranks. There's only 10 dojo. But apparently he has 12th degree black belt in both Kaichai Dosi Paras and Eskridu. I have no idea how to fucking say those words. But he has 10th, 8th, and 6th degree black belt. Interesting.
Out in a community center, give back to the elderly. I don't know, start donating your money, and I don't know, how far do you want to take this, huh? What is okay and what is and not okay? And stop telling people what they can and cannot enjoy. Who are you? The fun police? Who are like, oh no, you're not allowed to like this because it's got AI. Oh, God forbid. It's like telling people they can't eat donuts anymore. Because, I mean, it's retarded. People probably know they shouldn't eat donuts, but they taste so good, so they keep eating them. And can you blame them? I would eat them too because they're delicious. So what if I get fat?
That's like me with soft drink. Oh yeah, yeah. The grandma, the grandma cat woman in my dojo. She's old, but she's pretty good. She's brown belt, but she's like in her 70s. All the other kids are like kids. They're not really kids. They're all teens. So it's like either they're too young or they're too old. There's no one in my age range. So you're not, yeah. Spiritu, when you say you are a libertarian, what do you mean by that? Just to clarify, since I've seen people hate libertarians for reasons I don't get. I mean, people have said that I'm a libertarian because I'm anti-big government. So I don't really understand it, right? Myself, because a lot of people always say, oh, well, you know, you're a libertarian because I just don't like big government, right? My idea is that I want as little government as necessary when it comes to things. Right, if we can have a system where we don't need government to do something, then I prefer it, right? I don't like having a government where it's not needed. It's like, for example, governments running daycare centers. No, I don't like that. I'd prefer it to be a private sector where the consumer is the one that's able to pick and it's more done from home, right? I don't like where governments are sticking their nose into every esoteric thing when it comes to things. But where a government is needed, then I'm okay with, right? Where it's a last resort, you need a government to be a referee, I'm okay with that. But I prefer as little government as possible. So apparently that makes me libertarian. So, but I also like the idea of being more independent from relying on infrastructure that is run by the government. So for example, I like the idea of having my, like, being able to have solar panels and batteries and not having to connect to the grid and be able to be self-sufficient, because I don't like the reliance of being reliant on a government. Espiritu is learning he is not an NCAP, so he is not a libertarian. Again, a lot of these words, they all have different meanings to people, so I just generally just care more about my values rather than what tag or what word it gets attached to me. Governments are there to help people when necessary. Yeah, and I don't like unnecessary involvement with the government. I prefer the government to be as small and as efficient as possible. So, I don't know. That's just my personal view on it. I just don't like big government, and I don't like unnecessary government. Because I feel like the bigger you make the government, the more you have them involved in unnecessary things, the more inefficient they become, and the more they try to control every aspect of your life. And I don't like that. I don't like governments controlling aspects of my life that they don't need to. So, that was a good video, by the way, by Juju. I agree with her. I think she's just kind of calling out the double standards when it comes to them complaining about, you know, if they're so focused on not liking AI and being upholden to being like, oh, I won't use AI, I won't play this, I won't play that because of AI, then it's like, okay, but then you've got to apply that same logic to everything else. And I think the hate towards AI is very overforced. But that also being said, I think that there is some cases where you argue there's good AI and bad AI, but you've got to be able to articulate yourself in saying where you like AI and where you don't like AI being in. Third person dialogue, he actually turns black and becomes one with his tribe and uses his karate for white people only. What the? But yeah, I like Juju's video there. How bad do you think Gen Beta is going to be? I think this latest generation are pretty cooked. For those that don't know, ANCAP is anarch-capitalist. It was Rothbard who coined the term. He is literally the libertarian man in US politics. See, I just don't understand a lot of the words and everything that people attach to them. So when people were calling me a libertarian, I was like, okay, so that just means you just don't like big government. But apparently that doesn't make that so. The sad part is most normie friendly and non VTubers must extra careful for thinking playing NTE is now. The funny thing is I was watching a VTuber bitch and complain on social media about NTE and defending Iron Mouse, but then they were on stream playing it. So I was like, okay, the game is bad because it's got AI in it, but you're playing it even though it's got AI in it. And you can say, oh, well, they removed some of the AI. Sure, but it's still made with a lot of AI. There's still AI in it. So it's like, if you hate AI, then you shouldn't be playing the game. When will you play the Sakura games? When I feel like it. Potentially, maybe. Who knows? I'd have to look into some of the more of the Sakura games. But there are some content creators that do not like me because I am against big government. I've gotten into very heated arguments with content creators like Kanglan Lee. People might remember that from last year. I got into a pretty heated debate with him because I was stating that I don't like digital ID, right? I was against digital ID. I was against the idea of banning porn and all that. And he was saying that porn should be banned. And I'm like, well, if you ban that, you'd need digital ID. And he's like, oh, no, you wouldn't need that. You just ban it and you stop anyone from using it. And I'm like, again, you'd need digital ID because if you're going to ban it for everyone, people are going to use VPNs and all the rest. And then when I got into that heated debate with him, he ended up basically saying, okay, well, maybe digital ID is a good idea and having government enforce it would be good. And I'm just like, bro, you literally contradicted all your own values. And then people just got really angry with him and started unfollowing him, and then he crashed out. So me and him didn't really have a great first impressions of each other because I didn't like how contradictory he was with his statement. And he just wasn't good at debating. He really wasn't good at debating. He was just being really all over the place. And I absolutely reamed his butthole when it came to that. Because I had a lot of content creators message me privately thanking me for calling him out, but a lot of them were really scared of him because he has a big influence and he knows a lot of content creators. And I know for a fact there are some specific content creators that don't want to associate with me because of that spat that me and him had. I don't have any hatred towards him at all. You know, I don't have any, like, I don't hate him. I'm just a bit disappointed in how he approached it. Because that whole debate and that whole debacle just felt very religiously motivated, which he openly basically stated that it was more religiously motivated because he was basically saying that religious values basically trump pretty much everything else, and that banning porn is, you know, the key to, like, it is a good thing because of religious reasons and degeneracy and all the rest. And I'm just like, yeah, but to ban porn, you'd have to use digital ID. You can't implement a ban porn without digital ID. And I used the case of the UK, right? How it didn't work and how it was ineffective. He didn't care. He cared more about the religious aspect of banning porn than actually understanding that censorship is bad. His counter argument is banning porn is not censorship. And that's where I just got irritated at him. Because he kept moving the goalpost every time he looked stupid in his statement. So he's one of those types. The thing is he makes tweets recently that he's basically against digital ID, which is why I'm really confused about Kanglin Lee, because he says he's against digital ID, but then when me and him had an argument or a debate on X, he basically just admitted that he was pro-digital ID if it was to implement and force a ban on porn. Because as I said to him, you cannot implement a ban on porn on a country without needing digital ID. That's just, again, anyone with half a common sense would understand that you cannot ban porn without it. And it's proof because the UK failed at banning porn. EU is failing at controlling its people, and they're talking about banning VPNs because they want to implement digital ID as well. Because to be able to get past it, it's just like... And that's why I got frustrated with him, because he failed at the basic understanding of how, one, banning something on the internet works, two, just how generally people function as society, and then he suddenly went knee deep into the whole idea of, oh, well, fine, let's push digital ID. And I'm like, I thought you were against it. And his only comeback was just basically trying to insult me, calling me a gooner. And I'm like, do you really think calling me a gooner is an insult, bro? Really? Really? That's not an insult, especially for a guy that openly used to participate in the anime community and used to like animes that were very gooner friendly. He used to suck up to content creators like Chibi Reviews, which, by the way, people tipped me off on that he used to like shows that were very gooner friendly. So I just found his whole statement very hypocritical. And at the end of the day, I blocked him, he blocked me, and I don't really ever talk about him much. But there was one time where he did a collaboration with, it was him, Salim, Leaflet, and Okko, and I kind of cooked the whole fact that, oh, it's, you know, it's kind of funny him collaborating with a bunch of VTubers when he's literally against the fundamentals of, like, banning porn and all the rest, and all this other kind of stuff, and fictional kind of story, and it was just like, he then crashed out about it. So I believe that's why Leaflet doesn't like me. At least that's my speculation. I believe Leaflet doesn't like me because I called out Kanglin Lee at being a massive hypocrite. It's just disappointing because it basically shows that the right can be very hypocritical and they can go to extremes that really aren't for the best interest of the people. They're more interested in serving the interests of their religious doctrine, which is why I just find it all kind of dangerous. And again, I'm not trying to hate on any religious type person, but if you're trying to enforce your own religious values on the general populace, well then you're no different than the Muslims that are trying to enforce theirs. Sorry, Christians, but if you're doing that, you're no different. Leaflet doesn't like porn, which is ironic because she's actually talked on her stream about her favorite porn, or her favorite hentai. Question mark. Okay, I thought you were making a statement there. But you asked a question. I don't believe she doesn't. But she hasn't... I don't watch enough of her to know. They won't stop at porn. Once they win, they want more. Yeah, and that's the whole problem that I have with banning porn, is that they never stop. He hasn't even turned 18. He's a drunk. Who are we talking about? But yeah, I don't know if Leaflet's against porn. I mean, she's talked publicly or joked publicly about different hentais that she likes, and she's named them. So I don't know if she's against it or not. It'd be kind of a little bit weird for Leaflet to be like, oh, I'm against porn, but also I can name my favorite hentais. That kind of thing. It's a little bit weird, right? Unless she's suddenly pivoted. I'm pro-parent when it comes to what they want to show. I mean, at the end of the day, parents need to parent, and it's as simple as that. But I think the problem is a lot of content creators on the right are too scared to criticize each other, and this is why I think there's a massive echo chamber on the right leaning of politics. Because, and I got told that in the DMs by a bunch of content creators on the right that said they were too scared to call out Kanglin Lee because they were scared that he'd go after them, target them, and send his friends after them as well. And I was like, that's just sad. That's just kind of sad. She could just be fake. I don't know. I don't know enough about her to make that kind of judgment. Maybe she is, maybe she isn't. I can't really make an opinion on that. So I'm neutral. But I'm not one of these people that worship these VTubers. And I think that's one of the reasons why some of these VTubers don't like me. Is because I won't worship the ground they walk on. I won't just blindly drink the Kool-Aid that they all participate in, right? And because I was willing to criticize Kanglin Lee, I'm willing to criticize Rev, they don't like me, right? They don't want to associate with someone that's willing to uphold them to be honest. And I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of them don't want to associate. And that's just disappointing, right? I don't have any hatred or any malice towards them. I just want them to be true to their own words and their own values. But apparently that's too much to ask for some of these content creators, right? Am I perfect? No. But people should uphold me to my own values as well. Worship me, damn you. No, Tony. No, you're a greedy, gay, French Canadian hating person. No. Tony, you're going to Brazil. We're sending Tony to Brazil. Now we're sending him to Canada so he can be with Dez. The only thing I worship is hentai. Hey, that's a good thing to worship. But like I said, I don't have any hatred or any animosity to these characters. What about Okko? I need to know what you're asking about Okko when it comes to things. Because Okko, I don't know if they are pro... sorry. I don't know if Okko is into porn. I do know they're against censorship, right? So they don't believe in censoring porn. But I don't know if they're, like, you know, a gooner themselves. Rev is the best slop tuber out there. I liked Rev for the longest period. I had a lot of respect for Rev. I'm just disappointed at the fact that he's kind of gone a bit hypocritical on his own words. And I'm just disappointed in Rev. I genuinely like him as a content creator, but I'm just disappointed in him. And his wife ended up blocking me, even though I've never interacted with her. And I think he just got angry at me. Which is funny, by the way, because for the longest period, he followed me. Rev followed me. And it's really funny because I'm a gooner. I post a lot of goony stuff, but he doesn't like porn and it's degenerate and sinful. But he followed someone that posted a lot of it. So it was a bit weird. But also, if you go back to the original video where he covered about the 4 horsemen, which is me, Rev, Chibi, and someone else was on it, he wouldn't basically say my name in it. He was skimmed over me pretty much. Like, he talked about all 3 out of 4 people on that list, but he skimmed over me. And when I watched that video, I was kind of shocked because I was like, oh, it kind of really felt like Rev didn't like me a lot. And I was like, but he follows me. So I was confused by it. But then, you know, sometime later, he ends up unfollowing me because I tried to hold him accountable to his own words. And I was being really generous because a lot of people attacked me saying, oh, so you're hating on Rev. And I was like, no, I just want to know what his words are, right? I want to see what his stance is and understand where his thoughts are and compare it to where his values are changed. And based on what his values used to be to what his values are now, they've completely contradicted themselves. Okko isn't a Gooner, but they are against censorship. Yeah, that's what I've always believed. Okko isn't a Gooner, but yeah, but isn't against censorship. He became right-wing slop, so I got bored. To be honest, and I'm not hating on Rev, I'm just being honest. I find his content boring now. He used to cover a lot of anime stuff. He used to defend lolly-based content. He used to call out people for attacking the lolicon community, always stating that lolicon is not about porn. It's about a community that like cute aesthetic characters. But now suddenly the word lolicon means porn to him, which just contradicts his own meaning and his own words. So that confuses me. But also the fact that Rev has heavily just pivoted into DI woke bad, Hassan bad. That's generally mostly what he covers now. And so I just find his content boring because he just covers the same 3 to 5 topics. I kind of would like some variation when it comes to what he covers. But he doesn't. He just generally goes around in the same cycle. Rev keeps talking about Hassan all the time. Yes! It's ironic because Rev always complains about Rev derangement syndrome, but all Rev talks about is Hassan. And I just find it boring. Like, I don't like Hassan. But there's a point where I'm just like, I just don't care anymore. Like, if you're gonna obsess about Hassan so much because he's easy money for views, I'm generally just gonna stop caring about it. I mean, Asmongold talks about Hassan all the time. Rev talks about Hassan all the time. Tectone wants Hassan to notice him, but no one ever notices Tectone. And there's all other content creators that talk about Hassan all the time as well. So I just generally get bored of it because it's just like I said, I don't like Hassan. I think he's a shitty person. I think he should be banned from Twitch for breaking the rules so many goddamn times and uphold the rules correctly. But at the same time, dropped a meme in the Dankus meme. See you then. Okay, Tony. Thanks for dropping by. Oh wait, you going to bed or are you telling me that? I don't know. Either one. If you're going to bed, good night. If not, yeah. But thank you for the $2 super chat. But yeah, Asmongold videos are boring. I just find Asmongold talking about Hassan to be boring at this point because it's the same stuff. Rev ignores the Epstein. I mean, like I said, I feel like Rev's values have completely contradicted themselves. Oh, I'm still okay. And like I said, I don't hate Rev. I'm just disappointed in him. That's it. I'm just disappointed in him. So, and to be honest, if Hassan suddenly got banned from Twitch, oh my god, they would all run out of content. He intentionally dodged the Cinder after match while being active while Cinder was attacked. He lost my respect. He is following the pack now. Yes, I do believe that. I do believe Rev is no longer interested in actually being transparent and honest with himself, and he's more interested in following what the current mob requires him to actually say and do. Which is ironic when you think about it, because he's behaving exactly like a leftist. If you think about it, Rev is exactly behaving like a leftist, but just for the right. Again, Rev's old self would slap his current self. Yes, it would. But I think at the end of the day, I think now that Rev is very religious, and now that he has a wife, I think his values have completely changed and pivoted. You've also got to remember, and I predicted this a year ago, Rev suddenly became friends with Tectone, who, by the way, has a long history of being called out for alleged abuse, lying, stealing content, manipulating, breaking. Apparently, he's broken the law, right? Allegedly. And Rev just plays ignorant and goes, oh yeah, Tectone's amazing now. Because he has the same political values as me. I just feel like, again, Rev has thrown all his values out the window so that he can align with a political agenda. That disappoints me because it's not been honest, it's not been transparent to himself. And he's more interested in feeding into a echo chamber than, again, upholding what he believed were true values and being transparent and honest. I'm too innocent for this, apparently. I remain here, but our battle will be here soon enough. I'll have no idea what you look like, Tony, so if you go to the convention, you'll be the one that will be looking for me. I'll just be aimlessly walking around. culture war brain rot. I agree. I think culture war brain rot has destroyed both sides. Because as I've said, I've used the thing of the horseshoe theory, right? The extreme left and the extreme right are really no different than each other. They both behave and act in the same way, but they just have slightly different variations in values. And this was something I was actually telling another VTuber about with Tectone is, and I was actually saying this to Okko, is that if you actually remember Tectone's original background with his old streams, he used to have anime stuff, he used to have figure stuff, he used to have gaming stuff in his background. And then as time went on, he slowly removed it all and now has an American flag, he has old looking furniture, all fancy expensive furniture, a real sort of interesting aesthetic behind him, but he's gotten rid of the whole gaming aesthetic and the whole anime aesthetic gone. And he now has an American flag behind him, just like Asmongold. And that's the thing, is that if you actually go through the court documents with Tectone, he openly admits that he pivoted his content, basically grifted to the right to go after Hassan because it got more money and views. So this is why I believe there is a massive grifting problem going on the right. Because people like Tectone have heavily pivoted just to feed into a political narrative to keep their channels afloat. And that's why I think Hassan won't give him attention, which is ironic when you think about it, because I think Tectone wants Hassan's attention so that Tectone can keep his channels alive, because his overall views have dropped as well. I mean, Tectone's still making absolute fat stacks, but the overall views that Tectone gets has absolutely plummeted. Russell Brand is the same. I think, yeah, if I think I know who you're referring to, then yeah, Russell Brand is very similar in that. But it's just disappointing, that's all. I just kind of wish these content creators would be held more like you have earned how a libertarian views the culture war. Just read some books and you'll be one of us. So am I now a libertarian again? Did I lose the title of libertarian and then gain the title of libertarian again? Because that's a hell of a way to go about it. What about Iron Mouse? What about Iron Mouse in this? You bring up Iron Mouse a lot in this. But what about Iron Mouse? Who was Russell Brand? Russell Brand was someone kind of on the left. A little bit. I think he was kind of someone a little bit on the left, but then was kind of a little bit on the right, and then he's kind of gone extreme to the right. He's very religious now. Russell Brand's kind of hard to keep up with because he's kind of gone all over the place a little bit. Which, nothing wrong, right? But it's kind of consistency. Libertarian is a book club. Okay. Libertarianism is a book club. French, Jewish, libertarian, lolicon. Swear to Jesus Christ, boys. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't have any hatred or animosity towards these content creators. I just, and that's the thing. I'm willing to be critical of both left and right. And I think that's why I'm not beloved by either side on the extremes, and why some content creators are willing to collaborate with me and some aren't, right? I mean, when I look at content creators like Monta Sensei, I love Monta Sensei's content, right? Because he's true to his words, he's true to his values, right? He sticks to them, right? He just wants politics out of anime. He has these values that feel like he's being genuine to himself. And that's one of the reasons why I like Monta Sensei, because I feel like he's genuine in how he articulates himself. What about Nux Taku? I feel like Nux kind of falls into the same bracket as almost kind of like Rev a little bit, where he's pivoted, but a lot of the pivoting is a little bit, it's got holes in it, right? There's a lot of criticism that's been thrown at Nux that feels disingenuous, but there is some criticism that I think does make sense when it comes to criticizing Nux. He has changed a lot over the years. You just seems like an average dude, someone who isn't left or right. Who Monta Sensei, yeah. I mean, Monta Sensei just has values where it's just like, hey, I want anime to stay anime. I don't want it to be infected. I don't want it to be destroyed. The cultural significance of what makes anime anime and Japanese culture, because it's a beautiful, almost pure alien kind of thing, and it feels, and being alien is nice. It feels unique. It feels different. So that's just the one thing I like about Monta Sensei is his desire to maintain anime the way it is. And again, he's honest. He sticks to it. He doesn't give me any red flags, that kind of thing. And then you look at like Words of Paradise, right? He's the same kind of person, right? He's very blunt. Let's be honest, right? Words of Paradise, he's very blunt. He can kind of sound a little bit almost overtowering at times. But he's true to his words. He's true to the meaning. He doesn't like censorship. He's, you know, his values on AI feel good, right? And he's willing to criticize most aspects of the left and right? I do think there is some understanding in why maybe some content creators are more sticking in their lane of what they're trying to criticize. But I feel like Words of Paradise is one of the most like straight line type people where he's like, he calls it how he sees it. And he's willing to disagree with content creators on the left and the right. Right? Like he's disagreed with me with some things and all the rest. And I think that's, yeah. I missed Nux's anime content. I feel it's kind of sad to see Nux's anime content being gone. Being alien is cool, not the illegal one. Yeah. I mean, people know what I mean when I say alien-like. Like, because it just feels foreign, it feels new, it feels unknown, it feels alien, right, when it comes to anime. And sometimes it's nice to have those fun experiences. What about Leaflet? You're asking me like every name. I don't know enough about Leaflet to really give a proper formulaic opinion. I do believe she doesn't like me, and that's fine. She doesn't have to like me. Maybe I'm wrong, and she can tell me if I'm wrong. But I generally have a feeling that Leaflet doesn't like me because of Kanglin Lee. And I don't hate Kanglin Lee. I'm going to uphold him to his words. Because I don't believe digital ID is a good system. And he believes that you should ban porn. And I believe banning porn is stupid. I believe it goes against free speech values in America. I believe it doesn't benefit overall humanity. And I feel like it's attacking the wrong problems for religious reasons. And it's a slippery slope. So I don't agree with it. And because of that, clearly, maybe, potentially, Leaflet doesn't like me because of that. And that's fine. Sinai isn't here to call him Lords of Paradise. I'm the one that keeps calling Words of Paradise Lords of Paradise. I'm trying to remember to say Words of Paradise. I don't know why I keep saying Lords of Paradise. It just sounds, I think it just sounds more smoother. But I like Words of Paradise. It's kind of funny because after we did our first collaboration, I already had a bunch of people asking me when the next one was. And I was like, you know, we did it like 3 days ago. And people are already asking to do another one. And I'm like, baby steps, baby steps. I don't think Leon wants to put up with me too much. So, but again, I'm always open to do more collabs with him whenever he wants. So he only needs to tell me the time and the place, and I'll be there. Among all the old AniTubers beside the Lost Pause is still here. Lost Pause is a gem. I love Lost Pause. I think he's one of the best old school AniTuber anime gaming kind of channels, right? I love Lost Pause. I'm just glad he stayed true to who he is. And it's kind of funny because Lost Pause didn't chase the fame or the glory or the ego. He just keeps doing what he loves. He keeps doing what he enjoys. And I think that's the thing that matters the most, right? And I think it allowed him to stay true to who he really is. But that's the thing, right? like I said, I don't have, and keep emphasizing, I don't have any hate or animosity towards some of those other content creators. The only content creator I really don't like is Tectone, right? That's the only content creator I generally dislike is Tectone, because he is a compulsive liar. He is a bully. He's a compulsive liar. He's just generally, in my opinion, a bad person. And I'm just kind of tired of people trying to knee-jerk defend him for the dumbest of reasons. But as far as like Rev goes and all those, I'm just disappointed in Rev. As far as Nux goes, I'm more confused with Nux, but a little bit disappointed in Nux. But I don't hate him or anything. I don't know. I kind of miss his old anime content. I'm just, again, disappointed in Rev. As far as his wife goes, I don't even know who she is. She blocked me. I don't care. It's just funny. As far as Cayman Lee goes, I just don't agree with him. That's as far as it goes. No, actually, just Hot Sun over Oceania. Have you heard of Saint Tirana? I think I've heard of the name, but I would have to look it up to make sure. I'm an AK player. He is literally the devil to me. Who, Tectone? Are you talking about Tectone? If you're talking about I'm an AK player? Lost Pause, his content is the same stuff, but man, he is true to himself. He didn't go down the political rabbit hole. All he does is upload stuff. And I mean, that's the thing. Sure, you can say that you're bored of Lost Pause's content, right? You can say, hey, you know, his content's boring now. I've gotten bored of it. I moved on those. And that's fine. But I feel like, again, he's stuck true to who he is. And that's the other thing I don't think people realize is a lot of people always complain, oh, you know, these content creators change and they went down this rabbit hole, they went down that rabbit hole, they pivoted this way, they pivoted that way. But then when a content creator just sticks to what they've always done, people sit there and say, oh, well, I got bored of them because they never changed or they kept doing the same content. And it's like, that's the thing, right? A lot of content creators have to change and pivot. You look at someone like Chibi Reviews, right? I think he's definitely pivoted and changed his content because, again, the algorithm requires it. And there's nothing inherently wrong with that, but at the end of the day, you've got to pick if you want to continue supporting them. That's why I do the content that I do on this channel, right? But I also have the second channel where I do all the anime stuff as well. So that way I can put all that stuff there that I still enjoy. So, and I think Words of Paradise also does a similar thing where I think he has multiple channels, right? If I was to go to his main page, I think he has a bunch of different other channels as well. Like he has a gaming channel, all that kind of stuff. So I think it's smart like that to have those different types of channels if you want to do different types of content. So boring means peace. Now, I'm not saying it's boring. It's my comfort blanket. I love it. He's the same belovable guy I watched when I was a kid. Yeah, that's the same with me, right? I am a little bit disappointed he dropped all the visual novel kind of content and some of the gaming stuff. But at the same time, I understand why he pivoted away from that because of YouTube's ad apocalypse. So I get that. So I just like the fact that Lost Pause has stayed true to who he is. And then, of course, like Sinai, right? She's one of those where you can tell she's a genuine anime fan. I think she's adorable, actually. She's got a really sweet and cute voice. But you can tell, right? There's a genuine passion. There's a genuine love for what she talks about. It's the same with Words of Paradise, right? Follows the same kind of thing. It's the same with Monta Sensei. It's the same with Lost Pause, right? There's a genuine love and passion for the things that they talk about. I mean, his channel got taken down. I mean, Lost Pause's channel didn't get taken down, but it was threatened at the time, which was why he made the second channel. Would you beat Words of Paradise and win with karate skills? Why would I want to beat up Words of Paradise? Bringing up the one of my girls. She ain't. I will kick your ass, Tony. I will kick your ass. I know what you're trying to do, Tony. I know what you're trying to do. I know what you're trying to do. Go back to your French Canadian, you gay French Canadian lover. I mean, Words of Paradise. Would you beat I see. Words of Paradise and win in a karate. So I don't know why I would be fighting Words of Paradise though. I don't know why I'd be beating him. And I mean, you also look at other content creators like Juju, right? Those are another good one. Tony will kick your ass. You know what? He probably would try and kick my ass because apparently he's gay, so he probably wants my ass. Oh! Is that why Tony wants to kick my ass so badly? Tony uses sticks in his martial arts, so he probably has the length advantage. You sure about that when it comes to sticks? Actually, where is mine? I don't know where I put it, actually. I think I put it somewhere else. Where did I actually put it? I don't know where I put my bokken. I've had my bokken somewhere. I might have put it in the cupboard. I think I might have put it down in the other room. Because I originally had my bokken here, which is my stick. I don't think I have it in there. I can't be bothered going through the other room to go look for it. It could be in the in my other bedroom. But yeah, I have a bokken. I mean, sticks are like this big, right? Bokken is like that. It's bigger. Spiritual, are you going to make a video about Western animations versus Eastern animation versus India animations? I mean, maybe. Clearly compensating for something. I see how it is, Mr. Gay Boy. Sticks and stones can break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Mantra, you're all taught. Mr. I hate Canadian French girls. Tony is the man in the UA. The UA? I don't know what that means. Yeah, Tony wants that. He does. He wants that ass. Tony is the man and Spiritu is the Shoto. X for doubt. Fallout dev Tim Kaine is right when it comes to streamers, not 100% though. The gay mance is growing. I just like giving him shit because it's funny. And he can take it because he's Australian, so he knows how to take it. If you know what I mean. Because he likes it. Doom Europe with the too seriously. He keeps denying his love for Dez, that's all. He just keeps denying it. At some point, he'll give in to his French-Canadian white girl. But yeah, I mean, overall, like I said, I think when you look at content creators, I think it's just, again, being transparent and being honest and being genuine about who you are. I think the only one taking it is you, mate. Is that what you tell yourself at night, Tony? Is that what you tell yourself? I like Dez. I also like... You're getting a bit greedy there, bro. You're getting a bit greedy. The gay is overflowing, as Vegeta would say. It's alright. He's trying to sell a pitch to me. He's like, you know, guys, I swear. I'm not gay, guys, I swear. He just wants to kick my ass. If you know what I mean. But I've kind of went over all the last of that stuff. There is at some point I do maybe want to go over this video. Is he finally confessing to Tony? You mean, is Tony finally confessing to me? Again. But I do want to go over this at some point, because I do think this would be an interesting video. I got linked it, so it would be interesting. I was going to cover this. Hollywood's hottest business is niche anime. As well. I've seen the Karamara based. Oh, that video. Yeah, I was thinking about covering it. I might cover it next stream. Maybe. Because that might take a bit of time to go through. Because we're almost at, what, like, almost 3 hours for a stream. And this is like a 16-minute long video. So I do feel like this will probably be a very lengthy video to go through. So... I don't know. I think that would be better, just to save that for the next stream, and that way, at least, yeah. I mean, how old is the video, too? 9th, so at least give it another day. I might do it next stream, whether I do it tomorrow or the day after, because tomorrow, for me, is Monday now, so... pressing X to doubt Tony. Yeah, you know, Tony's trying to sell a hard pitch right now. He's trying to sell a hard pitch. I think he wants to be greedy with all these women, so he wants to make me jealous. You know? Tony is very straight as a opponent. He just wants to steal my favorite waifu from me. That's all Tony wants to do. He just wants to steal from me. He's a mean boy. By the way, I'm not kidding. There's a cartoon parody called Dragon Balls P. Tony is gayer than a rape. He's gayer than a gay time ice block. But yeah, like I said, I think I will save that anime video for next stream, because I think that being 16 minutes long and what it covers, and oh god, that's going to be a spicy one too, because anime has a Christian tourist problem after what I just talked about when it comes to certain content creators and their political opinions and stuff, and all the certain political Christian channels. I think that's going to be one where it's going to be like, that's going to spark a bit of an interesting debate, because I feel like that's going to provoke a conversation about specific content creators. I don't know if they bring up specific names in it. I mean, they've got Collective Shout there. They've got some stuff here. I don't know. So. Yeah, we do. We both live in a place that sells it. But I don't think there's really anything else. Like I said, I was debating on that one. Hollywood's hottest business is once niche anime. Sony's Crunchyroll increases its subscription base nearly 25% in the last year as young audiences seek entertainment that stands apart from typical fare. Which is funny, by the way, because they keep upping the cost of their fees when it comes to Crunchyroll, and yet they just got hacked recently, which is even more funny because Reddit had to lie and claim that there wasn't a hack, that it was some like data breach thing that wasn't a hack. Way projection. Hey, the chat said it, Tony. The chat said it, okay? It's not my fault the chat thinks you're gay, Tony, okay? It's not my fault. Apparently you don't like Des because she's a Canadian French girl because you're racist. That's just disappointing, you know? She's such a sweet girl and you've broken her heart. Why would you do that? Why would you do that, bro? This isn't good that Hollywood is trying to get their hands on Japanese media. Yeah, no, it's concerning. But I just thought it was funny that they're bragging like, oh yeah, we gained 25% more members, but also we upped our fees and we got hacked. Like, good job, Crunchyroll. Good job. I don't think we know... We got to boycott Hollywood and other Western corporations, including localizers and credit card companies. It's hard to boycott credit card companies when they have such a powerful monopoly and you can't even avoid them very easily. I mean, there are some ways to avoid usage, and that's the thing that you've got to do, is you've got to lower the usage because you can't really stop using them. And I think that's the biggest problem when it comes to credit card companies. But it is good that, like, Japan is bringing their own alternative options as well. But yeah, you need to look at a lot of these, like, things going on, ways to work around it. We clearly need some policies to hold them accountable, but that's hard. I don't know the credit card. I mean, you can own, say, like, for example, not necessarily a credit card, but like a debit card or an online card that allows you to use transactions online. That comes with the thing that you have to use these credit companies. My family still uses paper money. And I mean, that's good. I mean, a lot of people still use paper money. I never needed a credit card. It's more, I think, I can't remember what they call it. Like, it's Visa card, right? Visa card where you use it online, a debit card, whatever, like stuff like that. Otherwise, yeah, you have to use things like PayPal, right? But PayPal still also has the same issues. Debit card is still transactional online. Yeah, that's what I mean. Debit card, you still have to use Visa and MasterCard. So you can't avoid the banks, right? You can't avoid that issue. So to boycott them is, like, impossible. Because you still have to use their structured system. It is unavoidable. Unless there are alternatives. So you're still going through a bank. You're still going through Visa. You're still going through MasterCard. One or the other. You don't have a Visa. It's like you either go through Visa or MasterCard. And if you try to go through the bank to go through, say, like PayPal, PayPal still has the issue where they ban you randomly. So you've kind of got, like, this three triangle issue. We need more options than just that alone. Like, we need another PayPal competitor. And I think that's what we need. We need another PayPal competitor. Because without a PayPal competitor, we're going to keep running into the problem. And X isn't exactly doing a great job because I believe they're going to be using Visa as well. So it's like, it's near impossible to avoid these issues unless a government enters into regulating and holding them accountable to not banning things that aren't illegal, because this is the problem. Visa and MasterCard are the ones that are dictating what is and is not illegal. Also in the C, QR code payment is bombing and can be used across C region. And that's another, yeah, it's about trying to find alternatives, trying to find workarounds and stuff like that. And I think that's the best way that we can do, like, if more companies, more small groups, they find little loopholes, they find little ways to not use Visa and MasterCard, I think it's for the better. Isn't Vimo different? I'm not 100% sure what Vimo uses. But I would like to see X be a better alternative as well. But the problem is I don't trust X because they keep banning everyone's accounts unfairly. And that concerns me. So, it's a challenge on that end. Waiting on the Kojima card. It's Japan's best move was to try and create alternatives. I haven't been banned yet. But neither have I, so I always get worried because I always get bloody shadow banned on X. I've had people try to hack my account. But Japan brought in more alternatives when it came to Visa and MasterCard, which I think was a smart move. More countries and more areas need to try and find alternatives. It's not like we have to, like, destroy Visa and MasterCard, but it's about creating alternatives and other options to hold them accountable. Because when you have alternatives and other options, well, guess what? They'll have to actually serve the interest of the people. It's basically a duopoly. You have experience and rich start PayPal competitor. Yeah. Metal Gear is making a credit card. Okay. So, I mean, the more options, the better. It's not like we need just one more option. We need as many options as possible, because the more options you have available, the better the chances are of making sure Visa and MasterCard don't go down that route, right? Because that's the issue, right? The more options, the more likely Visa and MasterCard are going to stop doing stupid shit. So... what did you get banned for on X? Are you talking to me or someone else? I haven't been banned on X. I have been shadow banned. So, as far as shadow banning goes, I can get shadow banned for gaining too many followers too quickly, being mass reported, gaining too many impressions too quickly. Mostly, it's just gaining too many followers. Like, I remember when I was like, I think I was 6k followers, and I went from 6k to 15k in like a week, and then they shadow banned me for it. And it lasted a week. And then I went from like 15k to I think like 25k, and then they shadow banned me again because I grew too quickly. So it was really annoying. And now they're punishing posting memes now. So the only way to get impressions is to rage bait, which, personal pet peeve here, whenever I make a tweet about something, sometimes occasionally Chibi will take that tweet and repost it as his own, and I'm like, I'm looking at them and I'm like, Chibi, you could at least like my tweet. You gotta at least be a gentleman and like my tweet before you take my tweet idea. You gotta be a gentleman. That's how gentlemen function. If you're gonna steal tweets, you gotta at least like it. Give the man some love. I need some money too. But yeah, it's a pretty straightforward topic, really. I might make another video actually talking about why anime going mainstream is a bad idea. It might be something that I might do separately. Chibi isn't. Why does the word gay instantly come up in chat? And people say I'm the one obsessed. Is able to roll over for Chibi makes sense. Is able to roll over for Chibi makes sense. I don't get that. Chibi is Yag. You meant to say yeah. Swear to God, chat. Chibi will have 82 kids. What the hell is chat? Chat, you're all on drugs. You're all on drugs. What the hell is going on with you, chat? I do not understand you right now. I do not understand you. I know what you're trying to do, chat. It's not working. I know what you're trying to do. I know what you're trying to do. And I am not falling for it. Oh, this is actually funny, because this was something I was just talking about. Pokemon, We Hate the Rich, shows up in $1 million $1 million mansion with $1,000 gifts, bro. Bandit chat. Oh, I swear to God, my chat is terrible. They're horrible. You're able to roll over for Chibi makes sense. How am I rolling over for Chibi? I swear to God, Tony. Swear, Jesus Christ, boy. This is a fact, not an option. You're gonna get a slap in the ass in a minute, boy. June is near. Calm down. Chibi is not gay. Yeah, well, I mean, he had a fiance at one point, so clearly he's straight. I don't know why Chibi being gay was the conversation that was brought up. Keep talking, old man. Hey, I'm very sensitive about my age, thank you very much. I don't like being 36, even though you thought I was younger. At this point, I'm sometimes wondering if I should just fake being younger. Slapping me in the ass is gay. Yeah, you'd like it too, wouldn't you? Gosh, chat. You're terrible. How about we tax the unproductive, rich, and wealthy? Actually, wealthy people don't show off their wealth. They try to blend in. Yeah, that is true, actually. He's somewhat true there. I actually thought he followed me at one point. I'm creating a new term. It's called YAG, and that's what chibi is. I do not know what the word YAG means. We all thought you're in your 20s. Yeah, most people do. Most people do. Got it. I'm sensitive about my age, okay? I hate being old. I'd rather be young. Because then at least then I'd have more time to find a wife. No, I'm not allowed to have a wife. Chat says. Spell it backwards. I'm like, it's like almost 2 a.m. So I'm like, okay, I get it now. It's like almost 2 a.m. and I'm like reading chat and I'm just like, ugh. The spiritual looks 6. I swear to Jesus Christ. See, this is what happens when I shave and then I look too young. That's why I'm not taking advice from people anymore. You're all terrible. If you get a wife, you'll forget about us. So don't get a wife. I will never forget about you guys. I'm not like that. My name is not iDubbbz, okay? I will not do an iDubbbz. I promise you I will not do an iDubbbz. Give you my solemn word. When I marry Cinny, I will not become iDubbbz, okay? When I marry her, I will not be iDubbbz. If you get, yeah. We should put the word... It should be in the dictionary. Yeah, it's such a weird word. I can be his ghost. Wait, no. 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 Oh, hell no. Come and stop me. Come and stop me. What are you going to do about it? I just saw this. I will fight you for oh, so now he wants to fight again. Oh, he wants to pick a fight with me, does he? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Tony, but I'm just gonna have to take it for myself. You know? Doesn't want the one girl in chat. Who's the one girl in chat? Tony is the girl in chat? You two are fighting over a girl. It's the most middle school thing. Candy, it's all a troll. It's all a troll at this point. The simping is out of control. Are you not entertained? But yeah, goon material. What your goon material says, I'm kind of actually tempted now to watch this. This is why slop on my YouTube feed. I don't want to watch this shit. I'm kind of curious. Is it the same thing in the girl on the left looks bad? Yeah, she kind of does actually. She looks... That's too many. That's too big, I think. Almost every time I log into YouTube now, every day pretty much, I have to use the don't recommend channel button because it just keeps recommending me pure slop for reasons, blah, blah, blah. I'm kind of curious. Has anyone actually watched this? This looks like... It kind of does, actually. Watch it so I don't. Okay. I mean, I don't know if I should watch it on stream or not. It's 26 minutes long. I might have a look and see if it's maybe worth it. And if it's worth it, maybe we can watch it on stream. But I just have a weird feeling it's just going to be this weird looking guy telling me why gooning is bad while he probably secretly goons to the most weirdest fetishized shit on the internet. Because it's always the people that hate gooning the most that are the biggest gooners. No, but I am curious now. Do we? I am generally curious. Because the one thing I've always learned about a lot of the people that hate gooning and stuff, they generally are the biggest gooners. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, he did attack the lolly community. That doesn't surprise me. That does not surprise me in the least. Candy Sensei, thank you for the super chat. I was trying to heart you, but apparently, my browser has broken. So I'm going to do it through the other browser. There we go. I've got like 2. So it works with that one. 3 times speed? Potentially. It depends when it comes to 3 times speed, because sometimes they speak already fast. So then you end up, yeah. Channel with a name of everything are just slop. Even on, yeah. Names like that are generally pretty bad. And here's the thing about content creation, right? Just being dead serious here. A lot of these channels, they make these types of videos where they're constantly attacking something that they know they're going to provoke because it's the best way to get views. You do like 3-hour streams also, might as well. I mean, yeah. I mean, next stream I could probably either cover that. I do want to cover that though. This one is on the higher priority. This video does actually pique my interest because it covers the anime as a Christian tourist problem, or anime has a Christian tourist, which I agree with. I actually do agree anime has a Christian tourist problem. So I do want to cover it. But I also kind of am curious what this slop is. Well, I'll pick at the time. I might just end up only doing that, and I might talk about it on stream. We'll see. Because that will take a whole stream on its own. Everything just means that you'll make a video on everything for views. Yeah, that is true. Cover both? I might cover both, but I might not cover both on the same stream. We'll see. We'll see. If I do it, I'll have to do it earlier. Like, I'll have to start at, like, maybe an earlier time. We could always watch House. That's probably more entertaining. It's true. So. But yeah. I mean, we're hitting 3 hours. I know in the next probably 5-10 minutes, my cat's going to scratch at the door again. I'm going to kick that cat's ass, I swear to God. I might get a bloody dog zapper and be like... She keeps bugging me. So, yeah. We'll probably end stream here. I know it's getting to Tony's bedtime, so I don't want to hold him up too late all night. I also want to finish watching the rest of Season 2 of Moonlit Fantasy, because even though I'm rewatching it, I've almost finished watching it, because I'm enjoying watching it again, so I actually kind of want to finish that. And then I might get into I might continue the light novels. I don't know what volume I'm up to with Moonlit Fantasy, but I know I'm still kind of partway through the anime. So I've got a couple volumes before I start getting into new material. Because I kind of wanted to get ahead of Season 2 so that I can get into Season 3 material before Season 3 actually starts. Wow, thanks. I feel seen. So yeah. Again, thank you all for coming to stream. I wanted to troll so hard just then. I was like, how do I troll? I was like, you know, if I go missing, it means I'm getting married to Sinai. Just to... He'll message me now. He'll be like... But yeah, thanks for coming. I'm glad you all had fun. Check the meme before you... Oh, yeah, I will check the meme after I do stream, so... it was good fun. Chat, I'm just going to say honest here. You're all retarded, but I love you all.